Welcome everybody to List Critics 2 with NecroVMX and Giggity Giggity Gideon time.
You know, when I make that joke, I figured eventually you would tell me to stop doing it.
Well, we're just gonna keep rolling with the
And now you're like, you've embraced it. Like, because I've always figured you'd be like, people are going to really think I'm called that, and they're going to be looking for me on YouTube, and they're not going to find me.
Well, then they're silly people.
Yeah, they'll wind up at like McJuggernuggets or something.
Why, do all roads lead to McJuggernuggets?
It seems that way, doesn't it?
I've still only ever seen videos you've shown me of him.
Well, he's done with that series, so...
Alright, well...
He finally admitted it was all fake.
What's not fake are the wonderful lists we're going to go through today.
No, they're definitely... Although we've done fake lists in the past.
Alright, well, you got me there.
We've done, like, troll lists that we didn't quite realize were troll lists at first.
What, like the top 50 Virtual Boy games?
Well, no, I mean, that is a thing, but no, we didn't do that. No, like that, like, worst musical artist thing that was just designed to piss people off.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That was a downer.
It was just stupid. It was like, try harder.
Yeah, get good.
Get good, noob. Get good, scrub. Alright, well, let's start off as we normally do with our Tumblr Getting Deep.
Let's get deep.
On these nuts.
These nuts?
Yuju Chinju says, I'm writing a depression-themed cookbook, and the first recipe is plain store-bought tortilla chips with no salsa or anything, and you eat the whole bag.
You know, I've eaten tortilla chips by themselves, and they're okay for about a handful.
The entire bag, though, that's pure depression right there.
Yeah.
That's sad. You gotta... Tortilla chips by themselves really don't do it for me. You gotta be dipped in something. They're designed to be dipped in something.
Dip them in tap water, even.
Don't do that. No. I would suggest salsa.
Yes.
I would not suggest tap water.
What if that's all you got?
Then go to the store.
Well, I got some bleach underneath here.
Well, there were certain people I might suggest that to.
Wah wah. Okay.
Party Barack's in the house tonight. Seen that name before.
Yeah.
He says, I object. The defendant screams in court. The judge gives him a very emotional hug and says, no, you human.
Aww. I get it.
Shaking my damn head.
Yeah.
Maria Reynolds says, hold the fuck up, I say. I am the fuck up. Please hold me.
Please hold.
That is essentially the same joke as the last one.
Mm-hmm. It's taking the literal.
Yeah. Chizo says, actually, Willy Wonka was... let's try that again.
Oh.
Actually, Willy Wonka always really pissed me off. Do you remember when he said that thing about cereal, that it's made of pencil shavings? First of all, Willy Wonka, you are wrong about that fucker. It's actually made of grains and oats. Second of all, you made bubblegum that basically just kills you if you eat it. You're the last person I would trust about food nutrition.
I don't remember that pencil shavings thing.
I think it was just like one of his like random ramblings.
Yeah, but was that in the new movie?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't see the new one.
I did. Skip it.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay, so this one shows a picture of a shirt, and it says don't, and then there's a picture of Kermit, and then it says suicide.
Yeah, don't Kermit.
Suicide. So, Team Cockett Team... I can't say this with a straight face. Team Cockett Deactivated says, what the fuck is this? A chromatic masturbator... Oh, it's a chronic masturbator. I prefer chromatic. A chronic masturbator says, don't Kermit suicide. And of all cute and sexy deactivated says, I need a moment.
Alright, I mean... It's funny.
I don't think that those deactivated is part... I think those are deactivated tumblers, and it puts that there, so that you know. So I think that the first one was just Team Cockett, and the last one is of all cute and sexy.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't Tumblr.
That shirt though is funny for half a second, and then you're like, I'm over it. And
I'd want to have that just because it has Kermit on it. I like Kermit.
Yeah, but then just get a shirt with Kermit on it.
Yeah. You know what I want? I want Kermit sipping tea as a shirt.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's none of my business.
Okay.
But that's the meme. Have you never seen that?
No, I've seen the "Here Comes That Boy" one though.
No, it's this meme like where you kind of like point out something that people do that's hypocritic, and you post the Kermit meme, and he's just sipping the tea, and he's like, but that's none of my business.
It's none of my business.
Yeah. Hetoy says, why is he called One Punch Man? Felsteel says, because he drinks one bowl of punch, and he's the man. Hetoy replies with, what a cool guy.
Oh yeah.
I doubt that that's why, but we'll just go with it. Why not? I love this name, Shitboy96.
Well, at least he's honest.
It's straight to the point. Shitboy96 says, how does one talk to boys? Straight boyfriend says, you don't. Shitboy96 replies with, you know what? You're completely right, thanks.
You just don't talk to boys ever?
I guess you don't. Okay.
I don't know. I'm missing something here, man.
I think I'm missing it too. I don't even know if it's there.
Maybe the drugs have kicked in.
Yeah. May says, you know, we were shying away from that. I wasn't going to mention anything that you're on drugs right now.
Yeah.
May says, what if people said Shrek instead of cum? Oh yeah, baby, I'm going to Shrek in your ass. Swallow my Shrek, baby girl.
That was like the whole Smurf thing.
And Deanna Fancy says, what if people went to church and asked the good Lord to cleanse them of their sins?
What?
That's basically like the Tumblr version of coming on and saying, y'all need Jesus. Spooky Jacob says, you're not allowed to be busy. You're my only friend. I think we've seen that one before.
It sounds familiar,
Yeah.
but what do I know?
Really Lame Blog says, what if garbage was spelled like Garbij?
I wouldn't like that. It would bother me.
That would bother me as well.
Garbage.
Yeah. Oh, this next one's a repeat too, but I don't know if you've heard it. I know I did it with Tanya. Ms. Jew Booty starts off trying to make the word gay into an acronym.
Okay.
The word gay is actually an acronym. God actually doesn't mind if you're gay. And then what happens is there's a bunch of replies where they make it into other acronyms, and it quickly devolves. So lamps are people too replies with God accepts you. Okay, acceptable, right?
All right.
Northern says God always Yugoslavia.
Okay.
Micro Infinity says Gandalf ate Yoda. I like that one. And then Ms. Jewbooty, the original poster, says, stop adding your own acronyms to this. It was beautiful, and now it's not. And I'm amazingly on fire replies with, God actually doesn't mind if we add acronyms because YOLO.
Yeah, I think they've actually improved on it.
A little bit, yeah. And Ms. Jubity says, I'm going to vomit on you.
I mean, would you not wear a shirt that says Gandalf ate Yoda?
I would. Yeah, I would. Absolutely. Gandalf ate Yoda. Octopenis says, an atheist and a Christian sit down at a bar. They both knock back a few drinks and enjoy each other's company because they aren't pretentious assholes. I think we've seen that one, too. There's a lot of repeats in this batch.
Or at least variations on that theme, like two people sit down, have a drink, and have a good time.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it is? They may be repeats, or they may be like people reblogging things, and the person who collects it doesn't realize that it's a reblog of something else. Captain Marvel says, when girls press their whole body against you when they hug, it means they like you a lot. Also, they're measuring your body to determine how long it will take them to eat your flesh, a technique shared by boa constrictors.
Oh my god.
Did they unhinge their jaws and swallow you whole?
Well, some of them in the past, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Cass J. Tuck says, what if you started making car alarm noises when people you didn't like touched you?
Like run through the game with a pew, pew, pew.
I think it's called autism.
Oh.
I think I've just broke Armageddon time, you guys.
You broke my brain and my balls.
Oh. The Milk-Eyed Mender says the high horse analogy... this is in repeat also, but I like it, so...
Yeah.
The high horse analogy just doesn't resonate with me. I don't understand why I should want to get off my high horse. My horse is so tall. He is enormous and titanically powerful. He will stamp on my dissidents and scatter them like cockroaches. It's a good place for me to be strategically.
Uh,
Yeah.
you got it. Yeah, but that's more literal, metaphorical.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the point. It's like, get off your high horse. Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel safe up here.
Yeah. Alt J says, why is James... Another fucking repeat! Why is James spelt with an S? Why is it plural? More than one James. How many James? If they're going to repeat that, they should do that when I have James on the show.
Yeah, how many James?
Yeah. No Post on Sunday says... Oh, I'm sorry, that's the reply. Pink Slot says... Oh, I'm sorry, it's Punk Slot. If you pull me on your lap, there is a 101% chance I'm going to make out with you. This is another repeat. And No Post on Sunday replies with, I would advise you to avoid Santa.
Hey, you never know. Some people are into the Santa fetish.
I bet you that's a thing, too.
Well, did you ever see Bad Santa?
Yeah, well, that was a little... I mean, I don't think those women had Santa fetishes. I think they were just sluts.
Well, no, there was the one that like plays throughout the movie. Like her fantasy was to have sex with Santa Claus.
I don't remember that, actually.
She's like, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa.
Oh, I don't remember that. It's been a while since I've seen that. I should watch that again. That was a fucking hilarious movie. Yeah. Miss Nerdgasms says, I want a true horror movie where all the characters are intelligent and do all the... Another fucking repeat! What is this, the best of?
I think maybe the whole list is a repeat?
No, a few of them at the beginning were new to me, at least. I want a true horror movie where all the characters are intelligent and do all the right things and take all the proper precautions, but still wind up getting killed by the antagonist. Nothing is scarier than doing everything you can in vain and staring in the face of futility. Plus, I would like to not yell at the characters for being dumb for once. They made a movie like that. It was called It Follows, and it was also really good.
Are you the kind of person that yells at people in horror movies, though?
I'm not me, no.
No, me neither. I don't know why.
The only time I will actually like do something like that is if I'm watching a movie that's so bad that I feel the need to MST it. That when I went to see The Village, that was one of those situations.
Oh, why did you go see The Village?
Because that was early on, and we did not realize that M. Night Shyamalan was a hack yet.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, because he had done he had done The Sixth Sense, which was fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Unbreakable was fucking excellent.
Yeah.
And Signs was not terrible. So then...
until the end. Yeah,
so then the Village comes out. Oh, we're going to see this. This is going to be good. No, that was the first, really bad one. Daejo42 says, whenever somebody says, so what did you do today, just look into the distance and say the right thing. You know what? Hold on. Okay, repeat. You know what? Fuck this, man.
Yeah.
They're all fucking repeats.
Come on, Tumblr. I was going to say you're better than this, but...
Yeah, maybe not so much, right? You know what? Let me see if I can maybe go to it, because they do this weekly, and I do this show monthly, or bi-monthly. So maybe I could go to the one previous and find some new ones, because that's some bullshit.
Tumblr gets deep? No, Tumblr got deep.
They should call Tumblr rehashes.
How Tumblr got is deep.
So many fucking repeats. Let me... Here, okay. Here's the one from July 14th. Let's do this one.
Okay.
All right, so starting over again here. Just Shower Thought says, mammals both produce milk and have hair. Ergo, a coconut is a mammal. And then Malo Wan Hellfires replies with, I know you're being facetious, but this is an actual issue with morphology-based phylogeny.
With, wait, what? With what?
Morphology... I'm not going to say that again.
Morphology-based
phylogeny.
Alright, well...
Whatever, man. I don't know what that phylogeny means.
The coconut funny.
Coconut funny, yeah. Rose Last Rider says, people who can decide where to put stickers must really have their life together. Alright, I'm already enjoying this better than that aborted one.
Aborted one?
Well, we aborted it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cute Bird Dad says, I think we all have that one piece of media we like that's basically, I love this thing, but I don't think everyone should watch this thing and would not categorically recommend it to other people I know. This thing has a lot of problems, and I am the first person you should ask if you want to know a long list of criticisms, but I really enjoy this thing. It's like holding up a can of trash to everyone else and saying, you are a reasonable person and you would not enjoy touching this garbage, and I value that about you, and then pouring it on the ground and rolling around in it yourself.
Is there, an example I can follow with this?
That is a really long roundabout way of saying it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, I have my guilty pleasures for sure.
What would be your guilty pleasure?
Um, I tear up near the end of Armageddon
Yeah, me too.
because I really, really, really like that movie.
Yeah, me too. I will agree. One Direction Obama says. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's One Direction Obama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Snapchat filter completely changed every single one of my facial features. Me. Wow, how did I not notice this before? But maybe if I don't look that bad after all. It's amazing that I really look like this. Haha, I just never noticed. Well then.
Yeah, well.
Van City Reynolds says, if the Purge was real, you would catch me in a bulletproof car wearing a full bulletproof onesie with hella guns and knives, breaking into Sephora, Ulta, Barney's New York, Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue, Eva's, St. Laurent, and a pet store.
If the Purge was real, I'd probably just stay home.
Well, that's what they do in the movies. They lock down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just stay at home and watch Netflix or, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That would be the day to download all the movies.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
never
that's
mind, murder and rape and arson and all that. Why don't we just
piracy.
piracy? Yeah, just download all the movies and all the music on the Purge day. Penguin Tree says, so the police and fire station are right next to my library, which is a Pokemon gym and Pokestop. The cops are blue team and the firefighters are red, and they're constantly fighting over the gym. I found out because I was adding a Pokemon to the gym, and some cops noticed me playing Pokemon, and they asked me what team it was on, and I told them blue, and they were like, damn right, and they told me about the situation.
Well, it's nice to know they have a friendly little Pokemon rivalry going.
It's sad because I would totally want to be on the firefighters side, but I'm Team Mystic, so...
I can't wait to be Team Yellow.
You're going to be Team Instinct, really?
Well, I don't know. I want to
Why?
fight for the little guy, you know?
Okay. Well, they each have an actual specific perk.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I'll explain it very simply. Team Valor, which is the red team, they find more powerful Pokemon.
Oh. Okay.
Not different. The Pokemon that they find will get higher combat points.
Cool.
Team Instinct, which is the yellow team, get more powerful Pokemon from eggs.
Oh.
And Team Mystic, which is the blue team, get more powerful evolutions.
Oh, well...
Yeah. The game does not spell that out for you, by the way.
I do travel a lot, and I do have eggs.
Yeah. So there you go. Jax Mannequin says, at parents who don't let their kids dye their hair, why are you so afraid of your kid looking cool? I think they're afraid of their kid looking lame and getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, I mean, what if they dye their hair, I don't know, gray?
Who does that?
I don't know.
No, you can't do that.
I've seen people dye their hair gray.
Do you know there's actually no such thing as gray hair?
It's just a lack of pigment?
No, it's a mixture of white and black hair. It just looks gray to us. There's no hair pigment for gray.
We're lying to ourselves.
Yeah, it just appears gray because you're seeing white hairs and black hairs together.
Oh God, I hope I never go gray.
Earl Grey? I don't know.
Earl Grey?
I take that back. I retract that. Okay, so this one says, you know how the tail of a really little brand new kitten sticks right up in the air and how their bodies are kind of chubby?
Yeah.
In Australia, we call kittens at that age... in Austria, that's a big difference. Autodromkatzer, which translates to bumper car kittens because of the way their tail sticks up. It's not a really common word, but a very cute one, I think. Oh, yeah, the Gestian poet is the one posting this. And they go, forgot to provide evidence, and there's like a picture of a bumper car cat.
Aww.
That is cute. Saddest Blogger says, when you show love to your pet and they end up sitting in your lap, but you got things to do. It started out with a pats. How did it end up with sits? It was only a pats. It was only a pats.
Yeah, it's always, whenever you want to love up your cat, they're always like, fuck no. And
Yeah,
then
then when you just was like wanted to pet them and they're like want to curl up in your lap and fall asleep and you're like, man, I gotta go somewhere.
I gotta go catch a Squirtle, man.
Yeah. Daughter of Dysphoria says, my mom taught me the therapeutic power of cleaning. Open all the windows, throw out the old, wipe down the entire house, burn some incense, roast some coffee, then rest. That way the tears from last night don't feel as heavy. And the Black Little Mermaid replies with, she just wanted you to clean the house.
Yeah. Not that big a deal, yo.
It's probably true.
Which reminds me, I gotta clean my house before I have all my friends over on Sunday for a party.
Oh, see? And you're all invited, YouTube. Show up at Jesse's house.
Woo!
Punacceptable says, uploads a selfie. Disney Channel audience laugh track plays.
Oh, God.
That's terrible. I feel sorry for that person.
Have you ever watched a live-action Disney
No.
like comedy show?
No, I've never... No. I don't even think I have the Disney Channel, to be honest.
Time waster. Time waster. Yeah. Time waster.
Somebody on one of these Tumblr things once described it as, like, you know, you feel bad for the adult actors that are in that because they wanted to have, like, a real acting career, but now they're stuck playing, like, bald dad or hot mom on a Disney show.
And then they're just stuck on Disney XD for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Now, this next person's name is Computer. So I have to say, I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading. Help, computer. You know when your hair is greasy and it makes you feel so bad about yourself and your entire life. Everything is awful because my hair is greasy.
Oh, that's happened to me before. Like, before when I had been in the hospital for a considerable amount of time.
You so were like, don't talk about this on YouTube, and now you just keep bringing it up?
No. Like I'm talking years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Years ago.
You know they have special shampoos for that.
In the hospital?
Well, no, I just like in general. Like in the hospital, I think when you're in the hospital, like people don't like the standard of hygiene's a lot lower there.
Yeah, because like they would give you like a rag and some
and they're like,
water.
here, just mop up, and you're like, this isn't really adequate, but okay.
Pits, crotch, you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, top and tails, right?
Ew.
Whore's bath. I broke him again. Kiddo YouTube says, if I was a skeleton, I would just say that really rattles my bones in response to literally everything.
Oh, but then I would make that xylophone noise, too, on my ribs.
BPD Stuff says, tips to prevent mood swings. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and sugary foods. That's me diet, though, mate.
Yeah, that's all I eat.
Yeah, okay. Well, you'll live a lot shorter. Bombing says, if you're on the sun, then sun-dried tomatoes are just tomatoes. What the fuck? And then Dan the Man 2033 replies, wouldn't they just be dried tomatoes since they're all still not normal tomatoes? And then Bombing replies with, I googled this and it turns out there aren't any tomatoes in the sun. So it looks like we're both wrong, but more importantly, you're wrong.
Could you artificially dry tomatoes?
How would you artificially dry something? Like, how would you not like how would you consider something to be artificially dried?
Dehydrated tomatoes. They would be dry.
That's what dried means, man. It's just that it doesn't look good on a package, dehydrated tomatoes. It seems like you're going to fucking NASA or something.
That'd be cool.
You mean that realize that dehydrated and dried are like the same thing, right?
Yeah, but sun-dried is different from just sucking out all the water.
Well, they call them sun-dried because it just sounds cool.
But do they actually... Do they...
Yeah, they leave them out in the sun. Have you ever had sun-dried tomatoes? They're fucking tasty.
I don't like tomatoes.
Yeah, but sun-dried tomatoes taste completely different.
Yeah, I don't like tomatoes.
You should try it. Always try new things.
Try new things. Sun-dried tomatoes. I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, they're cheap. Just try one. See what you think. Gusto for Sola says, why do we gotta even change presidents, you know? Obama's pretty cool. He can just stay. It's cool. Please don't leave us. We're all going to die. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure Hillary will be exactly the same thing as Obama.
Yeah, in that case, why don't we just have George Washington around forever?
Well, that would be great, but he's been dead for a while, so...
Just never, ever change presidents.
Yeah. That's called civilization.
Yeah.
This is the last one, I think? No, it's not. Microgay says, warning to anyone planning on leaving their house. The outside has unfriendly people as well as a gigantic ball of fire in the sky. In addition, you may sometimes encounter a bird or an unpleasant smell. Posting this because there are no posted warnings when exiting your home. Signal boost the hell out of this.
Yeah, but then I can't catch any goddamn Pokemon.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean there... Oh, okay, wow. People need to put spaces. It's what do you mean the rum is gone? They say, imagine what it's like to work at BuzzFeed. Your boss asks you to grow out your pubes for a month. You ask Dave from accounting if he wants to go out for a drink, but he's on a catch-up cleanse this week. You need to find Sheila to get her figures for this quarter, but she's away trying transcendental puppy kale yoga for the first time. You get roped in to do a taste test for slow-cooked yogurt, and now you're stressed because you can't find the perfect Jiffy or what is your favorite Game of Thrones butt plug say about you listicle.
Oh my god, that is BuzzFeed.
Yeah. I was watching one of their videos where they were going around early in the morning to all the fast food places, getting hash browns and deciding which fast food place has the best hash browns, right?
What a hard life.
I know, right? And by the way, McDonald's was the clear winner there. Not a surprise because their hash browns are fucking amazing. But
fair enough.
But when they saved McDonald's for last, and they were like, BuzzFeed was then open because it was closer to like 10 o'clock. So they, like, these guys, like Keith and all the Try guys, they burst into the BuzzFeed office, and there's all these people sitting at computers working, and they're like, all right, we're all going to McDonald's for hash browns, and everybody just kind of ignores them. And Keith, you know, he's like, get up, it's for a video, let's go, we're going to McDonald's! And he's, like, dragging people out. It was pretty hilarious.
Oh, man. Why can't I work for BuzzFeed? I can do that shit. I can eat hash browns.
Well, it's in Los Angeles, so...
Well, it's all online bullshit.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I mean, they have a physical office. Yeah. Best text post says, I'm a people person, outgoing person. I am a geese goose, outgoing goose.
I'm a geese goose.
When you put it that way, the whole term people person does become ridiculous.
Yeah.
Big Say Furniture says, my biggest insecurity is that I can't cartwheel. What do I do when I'm full of glee? Just fucking stand there. It haunts me every day.
When you're full of glee...
I don't know. You could fucking do a fist pump or something. You don't have to do a cartwheel.
Just be happy.
Yeah, just be like, you don't have to do... When was the last time you seen somebody do a cartwheel?
I tried doing a cartwheel and, oh, no.
Dudes in their 30s don't try to do cartwheels. Who are you trying to impress?
We were all trying to do cartwheels. There was me, a 33-year-old. There was a 20-year-old and a 27-year-old.
The 20-year-old put you up to this, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the catalyst. Okay. Blue Skylar, I like that. Blue Skylar says, why buy new headphones when all you have to do is bend the cord a certain way at the right angle, exactly 89 degrees, with your finger holding it in place?
I don't know.
I mean,
why?
Yeah, why? Just because that's terrible doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? Okay, so there you go. That's out of 21. I'm gonna say 20.
I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna go 17. There were a couple where I was like, "Beh."
Beh? Is that what you said?
Beh.
You said beh? I did not actually hear you say beh. That must have been an internal beh.
Beh.
Beh. Okay, 15 Twitter jokes everyone should read.
Well,
that means you. Just Jason at Longwell26 says, it says there is 140 calories per can of Coke, but here's my secret. I never eat the can.
Of course! That's what I've been doing wrong all these years. Damn it.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to get iron in your diet?
No!
Shane at Shane Has a Beard says, there's a lady at work named Lillian Llewellyn who carries a briefcase, and I like to imagine it falling open and spilling a bunch of L's. Lillian Llewellyn, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 L's in her name.
How do you spell the last name?
Llewellyn.
Oh my god.
Llewellyn. Lillian Llewellyn. What's her middle name? Liliana? Lilandra?
Reminds me of Julia Gulia.
Wasn't that a Garbage Pail Kid?
No, that was from The Wedding Singer, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Lillian Llewellyn. She's gonna be Superman's next girlfriend. Watch.
Lois Lane.
Yeah, Lori Lamaris. Lois Lane, Lana Lang, you know.
Oh my God!
Lex Luthor, maybe that was his experimental phase.
Martha!
I just bought that movie, too. I haven't watched it, but I bought the extended edition.
Okay, alright.
Maura Quint at Behind Your Back says, the only thing the Jetsons got wrong about the future is how the family loved their outdated robot and wouldn't trade her in for a new model.
Like every couple of years.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like, it's not like she was a smartphone. She had a personality.
Mm-hmm. But maybe you could update the personality so she wasn't so snarky all the time.
I think they liked that. She was like, you know what was her name? Rosie?
I think so. Rosie the robot?
Yeah, I think Rosie reminded me of, like, she was definitely, like, before she was a maid, she was probably a waitress in a diner somewhere, you know?
Flo?
Yeah, she was totally a Flo. What'll it be, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. Jesse at Nick Cage match says, I would have suggested they just use a regular volleyball, but I guess the Olympics are special. Oh, they're replying to this headline, mutilated body washes up on Rio Beach to be used for Olympics beach volleyball.
So just bad parsing of
very bad parsing there.
Oh, wow.
Pony Star Wars at Tigers Go Roar says, good things to say after sex. Thanks. That was fun. Do you think my bed of fish went to heaven when he died? Where then? Where is he?
What? That went to a strange place. I guess that's pillow talk.
That ain't kind of pillow talk that I've ever had.
Yeah, same here.
Dan O'Brien at Other Dan O'Brien says, an F wouldn't be such a bad grade if the scale went from A to Z. That'd be like a whatever percent. Sorry, I got a W in math. That's pretty good. I see you there.
I like that.
I see you there, Dan O'Brien. Kristen at Farrell Crone says, an alien makes contact. I take it home, give it a sandwich, then ice cream. And then to show that we're an advanced race, an ice cream sandwich. Gasp.
How do you fuse these two together?
Yeah. Like, I wonder, like, would you get them one of those cheap-ass ice cream sandwiches that are like 20 in a box, or would you get them like a proper Chipwich, you know?
You start with the cheap ones, then you upgrade to even further. Like you think this is awesome.
Todd Poppy Carlos at the Todd Williams says, spelling bee, Judge, your word is cat, okay? Judge, incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way, but all right. Siobhan Thompson at Vorney Tom says, millennials are so easily offended. Like I went up to one and yelled, nobody will ever love you, and he cried. Millennials are aged 4 to 10, right? Oh my.
Oh my.
Bucky Isotope at Bucky Isotope says, why isn't a fleet of helicopters just called helicopters? God damn it.
Helicopters.
There's helicopters over there. Mustard at Nice Mustard says, before McDonald's, I bet don't buy cheeseburgers from a clown was a pretty hard and fast rule. Probably.
Yeah, I mean...
You ever see, like, what the original Ronald McDonald looked like?
The one with a cup on his nose?
Yeah, he had like a cup on his nose and he had like a serving tray on his head.
Yeah, he was very strange.
It's creepy, kind of. It's like weird. All right, Victor Weintraut says, at CPN 42, in case anybody, or CPIN maybe, inhales helium from balloon. Your mom and I are getting a divorce.
I guess that lightens the mood a little bit.
I don't know. I think that makes it worse. Dr. Happy Knuckles at Dr. Happy Knuckles says, first they came for the fat, whiny losers, and I said nothing because they got me immediately. I was like the first person they got. Nice. Tara Shu at Tara Shu says, you know what? If she didn't have it with the space, I wouldn't know that it was Tara Shu. I would think it's Tara's hoe. A proper response to a girl... A proper response to a girl calling Amy in a lady's bathroom would have been silence, but instead I yelled, you won't find your precious Amy here. Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, is that supposed to mean something? I'm not sure.
Should I Google that? Like, is that from
you
a
won't find your
movie?
precious Amy here.
Maybe it's Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I have no idea. You know, it's funny, I Googled that and every result is like her Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. By the way, have you seen that there's a trailer for a new Sonic game that doesn't look like total shit?
Oh, here we go again. It looks like it won't be, and then it will be.
No, but I mean the last few looked like shit. This one looks good.
What's it called?
Sonic Mania. It's not in 3D.
It's a 2D side scroller?
It's not only 2D side scroller, but what they've done is they've used 16-bit graphics, but they just give it really smooth animation.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks like it could be a thing.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Fred Delicious at Fred Delicious says, cat people. Cats are easier to look after. Dog people. Dogs are loyal. Fire ant people. My skin is burning. Where are my children?
Jeez.
Fire ant people.
Fire ant people.
I don't think they're fire ant people. I hope not. They all died in the great fire ant apocalypse.
So,
out of 15, what say you? I think these were particularly good. Especially considering how the Twitter jokes is usually kind of bad.
I'm going to go 14 out of 15.
I'm going to go 14 as well. I'm going to have to agree with you on that juncture.
Ew.
Yes. Okay, so this one's from runtoftheweb.com. And it's a related... I have two of these, actually. They're both related to Reddit. And people were asked to share their fuck this moments.
Where you just, like, give up and say, fuck this?
Exactly that. Like, fuck this shit, I'm out, kind of thing. And there's 26 of these, so these are the top 26 chosen from the fuck this shit thread.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which I'm sure there were like 26,000 in the thread, because you know how Reddit is.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. 3 weeks after my dad died, a supervisor asked when I'd stop using that as an excuse for being distracted at work. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I agree. Holy shit. I mean, if it was like 3 months later, I can kind of see, like, dude, come on.
You can just pick up another dad at the store.
Yeah, right? Holy shit. I mean, especially if you were close with him. You know, I mean, that could be rough.
Jeez.
20 minutes into selling Kirby vacuums. First, they said customer support. Then they said product demonstration. Finally, they said knock on people's doors and sell them vacuums. Nope.
Nope, fuck this.
I could so relate to that because I actually had that job for a while. Although, luckily, I was not a door-to-door one. I was by appointment, which is so much better, but still kind of sucks. I did it for a few months. But it is true that they lull you in. Like, first there's the ad in the paper. It says customer support.
Right.
And then you show up and they say, well, product demonstration. And then, it is like you're selling vacuums. Like basically... The Kirby vacuum cleaner people's biggest sales pitch is the sales pitch to their prospective employees. Yeah.
Okay.
And
really Kirby vacuums, like sucking up like a Kirby? Alright.
Well, that's what Kirby was named after.
Oh, it's the other way around.
No, I'm joking. Now, Kirby was named after a lawyer named John J. Kirby who helped Nintendo out in the 80s.
Oh, there you go.
But a lot of people do assume it's a vacuum. The vacuum cleaner's been around for, like, forever.
Oh, coincidence.
Like, since, I think it's the 40s. They've been around since.
Shit.
They are actually really, really good vacuum cleaners, but they are also stupidly expensive.
Gulp. Alright.
When I had to do 100 rectal examinations a day in my first month as a surgical resident, it was such a disgusting thing that I ended up switching to a different specialty. It has been amazing in my new specialty, as at least I don't have to look at people's assholes all day. I wasn't aware that being a surgical resident involved peeking into people's assholes like hundreds of times a day.
I thought there was going to be some kind of punchline, like his new endeavor is like looking, I don't know, up people's noses or something like that.
Yeah, he's an ear, nose, and throat guy now, right?
But man...
Or maybe he's a podiatrist with a really bad foot fetish.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Foot fetish. I don't get the whole thing about foot fetish. I look at a foot and I'm like,
it's a foot. Yeah, I'm like, yep, there's a foot, all right.
You walk on them all day.
Girlfriend cheated, told her I need space to think. Friend texts me a few days later to find out what happened. Get really into the details with my friend about my relationship with her. He keeps making weird excuses that justify her behavior, like maybe she's scared of how she feels about you and that's why she cheated.
Oh no.
I ended up super pissed, stopped talking to him. Texted him the next day to say fuck off. Turns out he didn't have his phone that night. My ex invited him to a party, stole his phone, locked herself in the bathroom, and impersonated my friend to try and convince me to take her back. Nope.
Oh, wow.
How many red flags is that? It's like a fucking store that just sells red flags. Like, welcome to Red Flags.
Welcome to... Oh my god, that's some creep factor.
That is a major creep factor there. Divorced my husband of 12 years. Found out he was cheating on me. Decided maybe we can get past this if we tried and got counseling. I tried and did a bunch of shit to make things better for us, then got into his phone one day. Didn't intend to. The perfect opportunity was just there in front of me. He was still professing his absolute heartbreaking love to that woman, and he was also chatting with 2 others who he told were so hot and was trying to set up dates with them. Forget that. If he could cheat on a woman he claimed to love, not just me who he said he was trying to love again, there was no chance of anything working. That was definitely my fuck it, I'm done moment. Divorcing his sorry ass was the best move I've ever made. It's a year now and I'm loving life. I hear he is alone and miserable.
You go, girl.
As he should be.
Dudes like that, ugh.
Well, they eventually get hoisted with their own petard, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're going for all these chicks, and they end up with none of them.
Yeah, it's just like, if you have a good thing going, just stick with it,
Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, if you're having troubles, like she was trying to work through
Be honest about it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be like, look, it isn't working out, and, I want to be with, like, this other chick or whatever. But, like, don't be, like, going behind her back and shit. It's bullshit. Especially when you'd already been found out once, and, it's just, she gave you a second chance like that. That's bullshit. I was rushed into emergency surgery when it was discovered I had an ectopic pregnancy.
Oh?
I called my boss right before, told him what was happening, and he asked if I could wait for my day off.
Can you hold out?
Yeah. I just handed the phone to my fiancé and was rolled away. The next day I left the hospital and called work again for the HR numbers so I can start my leave paperwork. I said, "Hi, John, it's me." And he said, "You're 15 minutes late, right?"
Holy shit, what a scumdog.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck that.
There's so many things I want to say right now that I'm not going to.
Why?
I'm just kind of wondering if this chick works where I work.
Oh, really?
So I played D&D in college. There was this one guy. Everyone knows that one guy who forgets that people play games to have fun. But in any case, he wanted to Dungeon Master and we wanted to play an epic game, so we started at level 25. Ooh. We built our characters, and the very first encounter the Dungeon Master threw against us was specifically crafted to be all but immune to our characters. Like, seriously, the most effective move any of us had was to turn into a giant red dragon and sit on one of them. Okay, technically grappling, but still. So, after a grueling and unfun hour of trying to do anything against these monstrosities, my character unfurled his magical wings and flew home. And I packed up my stuff and just left. Apparently, me leaving opened the floodgates because shortly after I left, everyone else was like, "Fuck it, this isn't fun, we're done here." Dude never got to DM again.
That's kind of awesome, though.
What, the fucking I'm out thing, or?
Yeah, just my character is flying away, and so am I.
Well, yeah. You got to make a dramatic exit, right?
Mm-hmm. Drop the mic.
My old housemate used to tell... This is number 8. I haven't been numbering these. Number 8. My old housemate used to tell us about how his awful family and how messy/nightmarish they were. He wasn't the tidiest himself, but I figured he just picked up bad habits. I always felt really sorry for him about his family situation, so I tended to give him a bit of a pass. Fast forward to us moving out after a year. His parents came to help, and his room is in an absolute state. I cannot adequately describe how vile it was. I was amazed he didn't have rats in there. When challenged on it, without missing a beat, he swears blind that he had been staying with his girlfriend, and that in the meantime I had moved into his room and trashed it, which obviously I hadn't. His parents went apeshit and went to the landlord, who believed them and took a cleaning fee out of my share of the deposit instead of his. I was so angry at the guy. I'd always stood up for him against his family / our other pretty shitty housemate, and he decides to screw me out of 300 pounds.
Holy 300 pounds, dude.
That's a dick move, man.
Super dick.
Sorry, can't take you to the ER because I have bad hair. It was all I needed to hear to understand this person is a piece of shit and need not have anything to do with her. Kind of wonder if maybe they got auto-corrected.
Yeah, bad hair.
Maybe they meant bad hemorrhoids, I don't know.
Bad hair.
Yeah.
On my hemorrhoids.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse. Jody, can I get these days off in December? I'm not in town. I need them off. It's only October. You have to wait until November to book them off. Okay, cool. November 1st. Jody, I need to book these days off in December. Sorry, a whole bunch of people already booked it off. I can't give you the days. It's the first day of the month and it's 9 a.m. and I'm literally the first person to talk to you here. How the hell did people book days off? Oh, I took bookings last week because it was almost November. Oh, okay. Hey, Jody, I quit. Fuck you.
Right?
That's some bullshit.
Ugh. People like that, man.
Yeah. I was a broke college student and working part-time as a night janitor and full-time as a research assistant before having to go back to school in the spring. I needed the money to pay for tuition. After my first lease expired, I tried contacting a few places for a summer sublet, but no one got back to me in time and I had to live a few days in my car. But within a few days of me moving out, the apartment owners sent me their responses. At that point, I had already developed a system and was quite used to being homeless. Okay, you're not supposed to say, fuck it, I quit to life.
Yeah, I mean, try.
Yeah. I mean, like, most people are homeless because they have to be, not because they're lazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yes, I know that there are lazy people who become homeless, but usually they're trying to get out of that situation. Like, because
there are alternatives.
Yeah, people. I mean, like, this guy's like, I like being homeless. Most people are like, wow, this sucks. I'm going to get my shit together.
Yes, I would hate to be homeless. That would be very sad and depressing and bad.
Yeah. I was kind of dating, kind of hanging out with this girl, more like Netflix and chill. We had talked previously before engaging, and we were both aware of what the relationship was and what it wasn't. Anyways, one day I decided that we should stop chilling and just Netflix. She got quite upset, ended up stripping in my car and playing pornos on her phone. Pulled up to a stoplight, and I was like, this is horrible. I look over in the van next to us, and it's filled with little kids and two moms all looking over in horror. Except for the little dude in the back. He gave me the thumbs up. He's like, all right, yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah, but I mean, this girl, there's must be something else going on upstairs, man.
Yeah, it's called psychopathy.
Yeah, psychopathy.
Number 13, when I came home and my son told me his stepmom boxed up his PlayStation while he was playing it so she could sell it. Dude.
Well, why though? Is there a reason? Was the kid bad?
So she could sell it. I'm going to assume for drugs.
Oh, that's just awful.
Yeah.
Xbox, man.
It was a PlayStation, but same basic idea.
PlayStation, man.
Number 14, my wife and I started P90X a few years ago. That's a workout program, in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah.
After the first session, I threw up. Not so bad, but the next day I couldn't bend my arms because they were so sore and tight. I tried to get out of bed and just fell down. I couldn't wipe my ass, which was all right because I couldn't put food in my mouth either.
Oh my God.
We kept at it for 4 weeks until one session I turned to my wife. She was just standing still and crying. I was like, fuck it, we're done. Let's get a pizza.
Yeah, like, it's not worth it at that point.
You know, you're supposed to warm up before you do that kind of... You can't just, like, go into it hard.
Yeah, but there's always people saying, well, you should stretch before, or you should stretch after.
You're not supposed to stretch at all. Stretching is bad for your muscles. You're supposed to kind of shake them. You want to limber yourself up.
Get the blood flowing.
Yeah, exactly. First job in high school, I booked a short holiday away. Spoke to my manager in work, and she told me I could not have it off under no reason, as I am the only person who could cover, was also on holiday in another country. They walked into the store the next day, spoke to them, and they were like, yeah, I could cover easily. Went back to manager, and she still flat out told me no, so I went, fuck it, I'm done. Handed in my notice and went on that holiday. Don't bullshit your staff.
Very nice.
Yeah, that is some bullshit. I've had situations at work where they'll like, they'll switch me to some other house, and I'll be like, no. You know. And they'll be like, I'll be like, no, what, why, no. No, I don't, no. You know, and they'll be like, well, nobody else can, and I'll be like, all right. Because they've been sticking me in the hardest places.
Well, are they like, well, you know, well, he'll always be the guy that we can go to take the shit?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Because I've been there for 4 years, and I know there's only one house I don't work at.
Okay.
And that's because it's all female.
Oh, understandable.
It's only women staff.
Right.
But like literally, like every house that I didn't work at, they just started throwing me there anyway, and I'd be like, I don't know those clients, I don't know their routines, and and they'd be like, well, you'll figure it out,
It's like learning your job all over again.
Yeah, pretty much, So, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's like they just keep, and I'll just be like, no, what are you doing? And like, well, there's nobody else, and you've been here for a long time, so you'll be able to handle it. And I'll be all right, and then I'll find out that there were like 3 other people who could have done it.
So then why did they pick you? Are you the gopher?
Because I'm dependable. Unfortunately.
Mr. Dependable.
Yeah, it sucks to be dependable sometimes because people do take advantage.
Yeah.
When my boyfriend left me for a friend who moved into the house I used to share with him, I put up with it. When the friendship group stopped inviting me out because they felt awkward having us all there, I put up with it. When rumors and gossip and snide remarks circulated around me, I brushed it off. That's the moment I would have been like, oh, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas is whack, and you get the fuck out of my house. That's what I would have been like. But anyway, when I moved interstate and came back for my birthday and every single one of them bailed hours before the reservation, I cried and got mad but said nothing.
Holy shit.
This girl's just like, this is like masochistic at this point now. Those people are garbage people, and you tell them they're whack and get them out of your life.
Yes.
This goes on for a while, son. It's going to get worse probably.
Oh.
When I went through a tragic loss and was depressed, they all fell out of touch with me. I never received a call, not one. I went away and got in some counseling and learned to love myself a little more. When I returned to their world, I discovered they knew about my issues and had been derogatory. The first night I saw everyone at a house party, they all gathered in one room where I was not allowed to go. Finally, I realized after 10 years, these people are not friends. Wow, it took 10 years to realize that.
Jesus.
I think it's some people who are in those positions and they don't really love themselves enough. And they hang out with these fucking garbage people because they're like, well, then I wouldn't have any friends. But sometimes not having any friends is better than having garbage people friends.
Man, just because they're so toxic to your personality and your lifestyle.
Exactly. I left and I've never looked back. 2 to 3 years later, I have a wonderful life with a loving boyfriend, many genuine friends, and I'm on track to achieve my career goals. See? Better off without those dirty fucks.
I'm glad there was a happy ending because I was starting to be like, oh my god.
But honestly, her fuck it moment should have came like pretty early into that.
Yeah, like the 2 or 3 in.
Now, I love how this next one is, like, so short compared to that last one, and it's so not serious compared to some of these more serious ones. 3 minutes into playing Flappy Bird when I died for the 65th time. That is a fucking moment. You're like, no, fuck this, uninstall.
65th time.
Have you ever fucking played Flappy Bird?
Yeah, I played it.
It's bullshit. It's
for, like, 5 minutes, and was like, I get it, and
You played it for 2 minutes longer than this guy did.
Yeah. That's true, but I don't think I died 65 times.
I don't think he was actually counting. He's probably a little bit of hyperbole there.
Yeah.
I had been on active duty in the Army for 21 years and thought I'd stay for 23. My previous 4 years had been on recruiting duty, which was a nice change of pace. The Army then decided to send me to Fort Drum, New York. My family and I arrived in Drum in mid-October, and there was about 2 feet of snow on the ground. That's pretty normal for that area. As the next few months progressed, I got used to shoveling pretty hefty overnight snowfalls in order to get to work the next day. It was not a big deal. One day in particular, though, a blast of Arctic air descended on the region and sent temperatures down to 22 below. We got an early morning phone call from our leadership saying to report to physical fitness training as normal. So we went out that morning with snow everywhere and a wind chill of 44 below and ran for 4 miles.
Good God.
I told my supervisor that I'm retiring in the next 6 months and would fill out the paperwork over the weekend. He laughed at me and didn't take it seriously. That packet was completely filled out and on his desk at 05:30 that Monday.
Very nice.
That's pretty rough, man. Especially if you think about it. He's been in the Army for 21 years, so he's got to be in his 40s.
Oh, man.
That's rough.
That is very rough.
Late 30s at the earliest. I put in my 2-week notice at work and to pursue a better opportunity. Things had been nothing but positive at that job, but it was a time to move on. The next day at work, I get a meeting invite for what I expected to be an exit interview. I walk in, and HR and the corporate lawyer there. The lawyer demands to know where I'm going to work and starts shouting threats to ruin me with legal action for violating the non-compete agreement. I wasn't.
What the fuck?
At that point, fuck a smooth transition. I spent the next 2 weeks taking 3-hour lunches, chatting with friends in the halls, and doing zero work.
What?
There you go. I mean, you're gonna put in your 2 weeks. You're gonna actually work those last 2 weeks. But if they're gonna be assholes, fuck them.
Yeah, if they're gonna be dicks about it, just coast on through.
Exactly. Get paid to do nothing. When the man I had loved for years told me we were on hold, he informed me of the exact evening he was going on a date with some new girl and that he'd let me know by the end of the week if we were back on. He expected her to put up with that?
Yeah, like, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Amusingly, he got offended when I told him I felt disrespected. The idea of a healthy adult relationship with this man is futile. Feels so good to be done with him. Wow. I guarantee you this person has posted negative comments about Ghostbusters remake on the internet.
Yeah, this dude feels a little misogynistic.
Yeah. Ex-girlfriend and I were on a break. Wound up at the same bar and ended up giving her a lift home. I didn't want to come inside, and she wouldn't take no for an answer. She refused to get out of my car for like an hour, screaming at me all the while, and only got out because she was going to piss herself. And, like, she did piss herself in the street a few minutes later. Fucking crazy. But, you know, really, like, women put up with that kind of shit from men enough that they should know not to do that.
What, to stay in the car?
Well, not specifically, but to not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some guys are just, like, really persistent, and they'll just keep hassling the chick until they just either say fuck you, or they just break down and they're like, all right, do it, you know, get it over with. But, you know, like, so many women put up with that shit all the time from men. You think that they would know not to do that, like, that's a bad thing.
Double standards, man. Door swings the other way, too, you know?
You know, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I'm just saying that, like, it's almost like that group that is oppressed and then gains their freedom and then immediately oppresses the next group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bullshit. The new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, there you go. Wanted to make plans with my, at the time, best friend. His response was, if nobody else wants to do anything that night, I guess we can. Oh, wow, well, you're on the low priority there, huh?
You're my last
You're the low-tier friend. Was the final straw...
That's happened to me before.
Well, yeah, but you don't need to deal with that.
No.
Was the final straw that made me just say fuck it and stop the friendship. In 4 or 5 years since that happened. Don't regret it one bit. Nor should you.
Mm-hmm.
The boiler in my flat started leaking last week. I called the landlord and it took him 3 days to send a plumber. I turned off the hot water, but in that time we had a small electrical fire because the water from the boiler had leaked into the oven.
Oh, no.
It's been a week now. I haven't been able to have a good shower, and I'm on my period, so I feel absolutely disgusting.
Oh, fuck.
The kitchen is useless because of the boiler and the fire, and I'm supposed to be in a really important thesis meeting over the next 2 days, but my landlord just called and said the plumber won't be able to make it back until next week. Called my husband. We're moving out.
Yeah, with
she'd move out immediately. Like, at that point, like, just stay at a hotel for a few days, just to get the amenities back. That's some bullshit. And then bill your landlord.
Clean yourself up, you know.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. Okay,
getting dicked around like that.
That's I was dating a girl whose father was dying of cancer and was at home in hospice care. I found out that she was stealing his morphine to get high. That's when I said, you know, this probably isn't the type of person I want to be with.
Yeah, that's probably going down a dark road.
Well, it's good to see the warning signs sometimes.
Yeah.
My boss waited until the week before a proposal was due to start on it. She had received it 2 months prior, and at that point I offered to help and received no response from her. Then, the week before the due date, she comes to me in a panic asking for my help. This was the 3rd time she had done this shit to me. I forwarded her all of my research and files and stay late every night helping her put it together. Reviewing the final draft of said proposal, my research is 80% of the content and I am not listed on the team. Fuck it, I'm done.
I had a feeling that's how it was going to end.
Yeah, I had a feeling too. Last one. Oh, that was the last one.
Oh.
There actually wasn't 26 of them because the 26th page is just a end of gallery thing. So out of 25, I'm going to say 25. Those were all, even the Flappy Bird one, you know?
I found them all to be, well, enjoyable in their kind of, in their own way.
I found them all to ring true.
Ring true.
Yeah, none of them seem to be like bullshit stories, you know?
Mm-hmm. They come from a real place.
Okay. This next one is similar. Well, not similar, but it's from the same website. It's this is also from Reddit, but it's stories of the dumbest things they've done while high.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see.
Okay. I made a shopping list. After a half hour of trying to think of what I needed, all I had written down was already have eggs. What kind of drugs are you doing? Wow.
I think that sounds like a pot thing, honestly.
No, because if it was a pot thing, she would have like 40 different snack foods listed.
Half of them Doritos.
Oh, God. I hate Doritos. First time I ever smoked pot was in high school with a buddy of mine and his friend. We drove to the movies, smoked in the parking lot, and then went inside to see the first Captain America movie.
Hey.
I don't remember, like, anything about the movie. I was spacing out almost the entire time. I just remember this one scene where Chris Evans is talking to some military higher-up, and the guy gives him this harsh speech about how he's never going to make it in the military, and then there's this long close-up shot of Chris Evans looking defeated. I remember my buddy turned and glanced at me while I was staring at the screen with my mouth hanging open, and I turned and whispered to him in complete sincerity, "I'll bet he becomes Captain America."
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Spoiler alert.
You figured that out. Holy shit.
Cracked the code.
I strained the pasta noodles holding the strainer from the bottom. Oh.
Oh no, ow.
Ouch. Ouch. That's a trip to the hospital.
Well, or at the very least, a sudden ouchie.
Boiling water being poured all over your hands? That's a trip to the hospital, dude. Sophomore year, I get high before school, came into class. I get at my desk and my friends were making motorcycle noises, so in return I did too. After the fact, I started laughing and put my head down, only to look up and realize we were watching a movie and that noise was people clapping.
Wait, what?
That is confusing.
Oh.
So they heard, so there was clapping in, what? Maybe. So there's clapping in the movie and they thought their friends were doing motorcycle noises, so they started making motorcycle noises.
Like the was maybe like a lot of clapping instead?
They thought it was motorcycle, so they started making motorcycle noises. So imagine you're sitting there and the person next to you starts, and you're like, what the fuck is that guy on?
What is he on? Oh,
yeah.
Something.
Oh, that's like that the Simpsons movie. Whoa, what am I smoking? Oh, right, pot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't smoke, but I witnessed my brother try to pass the joint to the dog.
Aww.
Oh, God, there's more, but I gotta... Oh, shit. I don't smoke, but I witnessed my brother try to pass the joint to the dog, and when he obviously didn't take it, he said, Max, it's your turn. Oh, man. The dog ain't got thumbs, dude. He can't hold it. Holy shit. And then Max, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Smoking with the dog. Tried making pasta with ragu, pesto, parmesan, and chopped taquitos. That was the day I learned that simply throwing a bunch of good foods together does not always make for better food. It was also last night.
Taquitos, what are those things?
Those are those rolled tacos.
Oh, those little rolly. Oh, man. Oh.
They're pretty good, but so basically, so pasta. Okay, the ragu is the tomato sauce, and then pesto, which is weird because you're putting red sauce and green sauce together. Parmesan, okay, yeah, and then they chopped up taquitos. And like, what the fuck is that?
Maybe they just thought at the time it sounded like a great idea.
I guarantee you that's a white dude.
Yeah.
I had an 8 a.m. class and stopped for coffee and a sandwich at Dunkin' Donuts. The only guy there was obviously super high and asked me in this weirdly sly manner, do you want extra ham? I said,
excuse me?
Wait, listen to this. I said, sure, and I hear him whisper to himself, I'ma fuck that bitch up with ham. Then he proceeds to layer about 4 inches of ham on top of the biscuit. Whoa!
No, he fucked it up for sure.
Dude, I want to go to Dunkin' Donuts when the employees are high. If they're giving you extra food.
Yeah, give me that ham, yo.
I never get ham there, though. It's always like, I like the sausage.
The sausage.
Sausage.
I've never been to a Dunkin' Donuts, but I would like to.
Well, just like I've never been to a Hortons, I'd like to try that out.
Well...
Saw a huge spider on the wall and decided the best way to kill it was with a straight leg lunge. I put a gigantic hole in the wall and I have no idea what happened to the spider. Oh, he dead. If you put a hole in the wall, I think he didn't survive that.
You never know. Maybe he skittered away.
Unless he missed.
I actually, speaking of which, I should have mentioned, it's a quick story. The other day I had a fight or flight moment with a spider in my place. It was...
You're more than the average amount of scared of spiders.
Yes. And
you keep telling the story. I'm not going away, but I'm going to step over to the sink and get some water.
Okay. I was sitting on my bed, just like getting ready to go to bed. I look over and I see a spider that is big enough for my vision to actually catch on the wall. So luckily I had the fight instead of flight, and I just BAM! Against the wall with my fist.
So you smushed him good.
It meant I had spider goo all over my hand, but 1, I knew it was dead. 2, I knew it did not skitter away. And 3...
yeah, because his guts were dripping from your fingers.
And 3, once I wiped it all up, I felt like there were no more spiders in my house ever again.
You know there are, though.
Probably, but at the time...
But at the moment, you felt like you slayed the queen spider, and then all her
Yes.
underlings will die because of that.
And it didn't actually hurt. Oftentimes when I hit a spider, it actually hurts.
You are on drugs, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a fight or flight moment last night when I was going to Walmart at about 2:30.
As everybody does.
No, I was going to Walmart. It was about 2:30 in the morning, so I get in my car and I start backing out of my spot, and what appeared to be some sort of insect creature about the size of we'll say a basketball.
What?
Appeared to be flying, it came into my field of vision. I'm in the driver's seat. It came into my field of vision, so I'm backing up, or I'm in reverse,
right.
And it comes into my field of vision and hits the side view mirror, and I just kind of freak out, and I hit the brake, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? Oh, and then I realized what it was. It was not an animal or of any sort. It was not alive. It was alive. It was a low-hanging branch from a tree. It was leaves, and because my window was open, it kind of brushed into my car briefly. But I thought like a Zubot or something came to life and was like literally attacking me.
A Zubot, man.
Yeah. So that's my fight or flight story, which is a lot dumber than yours because there wasn't anything involved in it.
It's still pretty good.
I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and to be fair, I was super tired. I had barely slept.
Oh God.
My vision was a little blurry. And it was 2 in the morning.
All right, you had a lot of strikes against you.
Yeah, a lot of strikes against me. That woke my ass up, though.
I bet.
And then I was like, well, after Walmart, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get a coffee, right?
Mm.
And I pull up to the McDonald's, and the lady on the intercom is just like, can you give me a minute? And I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, we're cash only right now. Is that okay? And I'm just like, no. And she's like, oh? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts. All I wanted was a fucking coffee, It's not like I was getting, like, fucking burgers or anything.
Just wanted a coffee.
Yeah. We're cash only. And I'm like, really? Really? Who carries cash?
Yeah, it's the digital age, yo.
Like,
you gotta carry digital cash.
I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet and stacked up an entire plate of corn chips. What? Why?
Well, is that it?
No, there's more, but I'm just wondering. Well, wait, I know why. They're high. In the corner of my eye, I spotted an employee following me around. I got really paranoid and started walking faster to try to lose him, but didn't want to turn around and look at him because then he would know I knew he was following me around. I know exactly what drug this person's taking.
Which one?
That's weed. Because they're eating weird food and they're paranoid.
Okay.
I must have done 3 or 4 laps of the entire buffet with this dude right behind me. I think... How much you want to bet it's like their shadow or something?
Or someone just trolling them.
Yeah. I eventually worked up the courage to turn around, only to realize I was slowly dropping corn chips all over the floor everywhere that I walked.
Oh, God.
The guy was following me with a dustpan and broom and cleaning up my mess. I have no idea why he didn't just tell me to stop.
Sir, you have too many corn chips.
Like, sir, why don't you just take more than one plate so they don't drop all over the place? What? I've never been to a buffet that had corn chips sitting. That's weird, right?
Yeah, like you go to a buffet, you get corn chips? Dude.
I've never even seen that as an option.
Well, who knows?
This one's short and sweet, and I love it. Waited for a stop sign to turn green. You imagine a cop coming up to them and tapping on the window like, sir, you've been here for a while. Is everything okay? I'm just waiting for this to turn green. Sir, why don't you step out of the vehicle?
I don't think that's the first green you've seen today.
Yeah, exactly. Got high in Colorado at a speakeasy. While there, a girl told me about how her phone was running slow. Working for a phone company, I know we can clear cache, and it usually speeds things up. She trusted me and passed her phone over. Instead of clearing cache, I wiped her phone's memory by mistake.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Wow. I swiftly gave her the phone back and proceeded to tell her to wait 5 minutes, then turn it on. I left and haven't been back to that speakeasy again.
Oh.
That went in a very different direction than I was going to think.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to, like, start looking at her pictures or something and then, like, forget what he was doing.
Nudes.
Yeah. Emailing them to himself or something.
Yeah.
But I guess he was too high to think of that.
Yeah.
which is good, but what he wound up doing is actually really fucking terrible. I hope she had cloud save.
Or at the very least, not that much on there.
Yeah, but I hope like she had either, like if it's an iPhone, I guess it would be the iCloud, or if it's Android, it would be the Google Cloud.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Someone's bike came apart near me when I was walking after smoking. Prior to this, I had worked for a year assembling shitty bikes for Walmart, so I thought I'd come to this person's aid. I went up to her and told her, I repair bikes. I've got this. And after 15 minutes of taking more of the bike apart, I realized that I did not, in fact, got this. I stood up and said, I'm sorry, there's nothing more I could do, and left.
Oh, no!
Well, at least they realized it and didn't continue.
Yeah, but still, you left with things even worse than before.
It's usually what happens when you're high, dude. I was gonna clean my room, but then I got high. Ooh, yeah. I was gonna fix your bike, but I was high. My friend and I thought we invented cold hot chocolate, and we were super amazed at our invention and thought we were culinary geniuses. We excitedly told her sister, who just said, so chocolate milk?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I can only imagine the discussion that could happen. They're like, no, you don't understand. It's not chocolate milk. It's cold hot chocolate.
See, it was hot, but now it's not anymore.
It's like a Ali G routine, man. Like his fucking ice cream glove.
Ice cream glove?
Oh, well, you know who Ali G is, right?
That Ali G show, yeah.
Yeah, the Ali G in the house, yeah. And he did this thing where he would get these investors in and he would troll them by talking about, I'm going to invent the ice cream glove you wear when you do the ice cream, And the funny thing is, one of the people that he had on there that he trolled was Donald Trump.
Oh, no.
Who was like, yeah, this is great. I think you're going to make a lot of money. Now this guy's running now he's running for president.
Mm-hmm. We're going to give everybody an ice cream glove. It's going to be the greatest.
It's going to be the greatest. You're going to love it. It's huge. He recently claimed, and I mean Donald Trump, recently claimed that he was the only one to be on the Ali G show who realized he was being trolled.
Okay.
And that he walked out of it right away, and then Sacha Baron Cohen was like, actually no, he sat there for 18 minutes. We just edited it to make it look shorter.
Well, yeah, you're going to do that with all of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you only use the funny parts. You don't use all the footage.
Mm-hmm.
I was satisfying my munchies at the local Popeyes, and everything was going fine until I finished my order. At this point, I looked at the cashier straight in the eye and in a very serious tone asked him, is this for here or to go? That must have confused the fuck out of the cashier.
You're asking me?
Yeah. We stared at each other for a couple of seconds, and then I just nodded my head and said, here, and then walked away. Didn't realize what I had done until my friend told me.
Oh my god. I like these.
That's wow. I had a job at a Wendy's when I was a kid, and I did have this guy that came in that was super fucking high. And it was super busy. It was like summer lunch rush,
Right.
Fucking line wrapped around the salad bar.
Oh.
And this guy comes up, and he's just like staring at the menu, like he's so fascinated, and he's just like,
so many options.
And he's just like, could I have like a burger? And I'm just like, yes. Which burger do you want? And he's like, oh man, I don't know. So I'm basically like ordering for him. I'm like, all right, you're gonna have the single, And then I was like, you want to make a meal out of it? And he's just like, what? And I'm like, do you want like a drink and fries? And he's just like, yeah, I want fries.
God.
So I'm like, all right. So the food comes, it gets put on his tray, and he's still standing there. And I'm just like, there's your order. And he's like, what? And I'm just like, take your food and go sit down and eat it. And he's just like, he's looking at it, and he's like, this is too much food. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, this is a biggie fry. I wanted a big.
Wait.
And I'm just like, dude, all right, so, like, I mean, do you want medium? And he's like, yeah, medium. So I call the manager over, and I'm just like, he wants he wants medium fries. And she's like, was it a mistake? And I'm like, no, he's just stoned. So she changes it for medium fries and, does the thing on the register to, like, the manager log in and gives him his change, right?
Right.
Because it costs less, so he gets a little bit of money back.
Yeah.
And he's just, like, staring, and he's like, she's holding out the money, and he's not taking it. He's just staring at it. And he's like, what's this? And I'm like, that's your change. You already gave me my change. He's like, because you downgraded the fries. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, it costs less money. And I'm like, open your hand and take the money and go. And the manager's like, don't say that to him. I'm like, he's not going to remember this.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. I was 17, so...
Did I tell you about the time I went into a Wendy's and licked the window?
You're a window licker?
I was.
Wait a minute, why would you do that?
Well, I was at a party.
Uh-huh.
And I got pretty drunk.
Okay.
And some people decided to go to Wendy's. It was in walking distance, like a 5-minute walk.
That's perfectly fine, drunk Wendy's, yeah. But where does the window licking come into play?
Well,
I'm dying to hear this.
I was, my eyes were having a particularly bad time of seeing. Not just from the drunkenness, but...
I get that, but, like, why? What would you think you were licking?
Well, I'm getting to that. So they knew what I wanted, so they went in to order. So I just waited outside because the cold air felt good on my eyes.
Okay.
And I was getting bored because they were waiting in line. So I just started licking the window on the door leading into the restaurant.
Because you were bored.
Yeah, I just started licking.
So
the
it wasn't
whole
like
thing.
You thought you were licking something else, or
No.
It was just a thing to do.
I was completely I was just like, I'm really bored. I have nothing on me, so I was just started licking the window.
It was just a thing to do.
It's just a thing to do.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I was really drunk.
I've never been window licking drunk. Like, when you told me that, I thought, like, because you know how sometimes they'll have those huge decals of, like, burgers and shit on the windows?
Yeah, like, ooh.
I thought you were like, oh, yeah.
Burger.
And you're just like, yeah, fish sandwich, and you just start trying to eat it. Like,
No,
I thought that's where this was going to go.
No, if anything, it was like the Wendy's logo and Wendy's face.
Dude.
Well, at that point, I didn't even know what I was licking. It was just a damn
Dude, no,
window.
you should have left it. You were just licking the window. You started saying you started licking Wendy's face. I'm like, yo, she's like 10. I mean, not in real life, but in the picture.
Ugh, no,
in real life, I think she's like 40, but still.
And it probably had a really bad taste, but I couldn't even taste anything at that point.
You probably got sick the next day.
Well, no, I felt pretty terrible.
Yeah, but I don't mean hangover. I mean, you probably, like, got some germs off that fucking window, bro.
I actually don't remember if I was sick,
I don't know, man. I don't think they clean them shits too often, you know?
No, and like, kids and everybody's touching them with their hands.
Yeah, who licked that before you, right?
Oh, God.
All right. We got to get back to the list. But, wow. I walked into a fast food place and made a huge order. I got all my food and drinks, sat my food at a table, and went to use the bathroom. Then I walked out and I went home, and I didn't realize what I did for at least 2 hours.
You ever had moments like that?
Yes, but not at quite that scale.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and my browser is fucking locked up.
Oh, no.
I wasn't even doing anything. I was just sitting here reading that. In the middle of reading it, I saw my cursor change into the little wheel thing, and Firefox is not responding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Task Manager,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to kill Firefox. Goodbye.
Kill it with fire.
And I'm going to bring it back up. Yeah, would that be a Flareon?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to restore my session, and it brings me right back where I was. Cool.
Hey.
All right, next. I was in my car hotboxing alone at like 2 a.m. in a wooded parking area. All of a sudden, I thought a crazy person was vigorously shaking my car for 5 seconds. Got out and no one was around. I was seriously questioning my sanity at this point. Didn't realize until I saw the news the next morning that there was a 5.0 earthquake overnight and that I didn't smoke laced bath salts.
People on their bath salts, man. They're meant to go in the freaking bath.
You realize that when people talk about that bath salts is just a street name for drugs, right?
I thought they were actually using bath salts.
No.
Like when that person went all cannibalistic or whatever.
No, it's just a street name for a drug.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I sound really dumb right now.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay because you're on drugs. My friend was about to step on a snail, and I freaked out and shoved him away from it and yelled, "Don't watch the steppy." Yeah, I don't know. It was just a mix of a lot of sentences. I was just scared for the snail.
I really like that, though.
Don't watch the steppy!
The steppy!
Got super emotionally invested in an episode of Bob's Burgers and literally cried when the plot resolved itself. I was just so happy.
Have you ever cried over a TV show before?
Not Bob's Burgers.
But like any TV show?
Well, I mean, there was that episode of Futurama about the dog.
Oh my god, the dog. You had to remind me of that.
I mean, I want to just say, like, it's called Jurassic Park. If anybody's seen Jurassic Park, if you didn't cry, you have no soul whatsoever.
Oh, that dog. It was so loyal.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, honestly, like, if you didn't cry there, you are not a human being. I'm sorry, but, yeah.
You're giving me the feels.
Well, you asked, man. I was starving and remembered that I had pizza rolls. I put them in the microwave and watched the timer go down. 1 minute, 30 seconds. When I opened the microwave, it was empty. I stood there like I just witnessed a glitch in the Matrix until I realized I never put the plate in the microwave and they were still sitting frozen.
Well,
So I've done things like that not out of being high, but out of being really tired.
yeah, just
One time I was wanting to make some instant coffee at work. So what I normally do is I put the water in the cup, microwave the cup for 90 seconds, and then put the coffee in and mix it up, and then I drink it.
Yeah.
Instead, I didn't put any water in the cup. I just put the coffee mixture in there and then microwaved that for 90 seconds. Then I poured the water in, which was cold. Looked at it and I was like, this ain't right. And then I realized what I had done. I was like, man, I'm fucking stupid. And I was like, I just, you know what? Being sleep deprived is not that different from being high.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Man, you just did it all ass backwards.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've been having a hard time sleeping lately.
For me, it's been the complete opposite.
Because of the oppressive heat we're having here. And
from what I understand,
air conditioner can only do so much. If it's 90 degrees outside, that means it's 110 inside.
Fuck.
Especially and that means the air conditioner can maybe get it down to 90.
Oh, great. Thank heavens.
Well, that's a lot better than 110, but it's still too hot to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I actually missed like a Gazara Studios meeting last night because I got up because my alarm was going on, and I had just fallen asleep because it was like 8 and it was finally cooling off, and like Tanya and everybody else is talking about some like Pokemon or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. And I was like, and eventually I just had to call and I go, Tanya, and she's like, yeah, John, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not at the computer, I'm on my phone because I haven't slept yet, and I'm not feeling too good. And she's just like, just go to sleep, John. We got this. It's okay. You can miss this one, you know?
We got
it. And I barely remember it. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I slept till like 1 a.m.
Oh, nice.
Which is still not enough. It's still only like 4 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still feeling like kind of like... the only reason I'm okay right now is because I drank a very large black iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts.
Iced coffee.
Nothing better in the summer. It's pretty good in the winter too. I hadn't realized everyone left the room while I was talking. I sat there for at least an hour smoking and looking at my phone, having no idea that I was all by myself. Apparently I was so zoned out that they left me without me and came back with food and everything. At least an hour went by.
Oh, jeez.
That reminds me of that scene in Breaking Bad where the two schmucks are talking about like a Star Trek fan fiction thing, and Jesse just like quietly walks out because he's just like, I can't deal with this.
A bunch of nerds.
Yeah, it was about, what was it, a pie eating contest on the Enterprise?
Oh god, I don't remember.
It was pretty funny. It was something about Spock and Chekhov were going head to head in this pie eating contest, and Spock always wins, but Chekhov had figured out a way to win, and it was that Scotty was beaming the pie out of his stomach into space, and then Uhura came in and Like, just, you know, her hotness distracted Scotty, and he wound up beaming Chekhov's guts into space.
What the fuck?
Well, that's the kind of shit you come up with when you're on meth, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a really funny moment in the show. Somebody actually animated the story, like the Star Trek thing, and made it into like a cartoon on YouTube.
Man.
Yeah. After this, I'll have to show you that.
Yeah.
I hadn't realized... Oh, that was the same one. Let me click next. I was with my friend watching some movie. I think it was Pulp Fiction. Anyway, she had some leftovers that we were eating, and we were sitting in recliners in the dark watching the movie. There was a bunch of hush puppies and honey mustard, so I was pretty happy. That sounds nice. I kept eating, but at one point I noticed it tasted super off, but I kept eating anyway, trying to convince myself it would be good if I kept chewing. My friend ended the movie halfway because she wouldn't stop talking, and once she turned on the lights, I realized I had been eating her mom's fruit cake, dipped in honey mustard for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, God. Really?
That is so fucking gross.
Oh. But I guess when you're high, sometimes you feel certain combinations of things are just going to work.
Yeah, but he said it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Watched Grease, which turns out to be the longest fucking movie ever when you're high. I swear it felt like I'd been watching it for hours, and I'd look at the clock and only 5 minutes had passed, all the while eating a loaf of bread out of the bag like it was popcorn. That's the best part!
That is the best part, honestly.
Just like fucking taking bread slices out just munching on them.
Like just kind of picking it apart bit by bit like popcorn.
Oh my god. Freaking out looking for my keys in the car while it was not only running but also in gear. I was also in an empty parking lot, though.
What the fuck?
I was super stoned, painting my nails and eating a lollipop at the same time. I think I know where this is going. I kept mistaking the nail polish brush for my lollipop and licked the brush 3 different times and eventually got frustrated and gave up.
Gave up? Wow.
Wow. Oh, wow, that was a long one. I was in the early days of smoking, probably 15-ish, buddy's apartment, just myself, my brother, and a guy who had been smoking much longer than us. I'm being introduced to hot knives. They load up a big one for me, serve it, and I take the whole thing. What is a hot knife? Is that like a... Alright, whatever.
Is it just a knife that is hot?
I think it's a drug euphemism. I just don't know that particular one.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like basically a kind of joint, I guess. As I exhale, I step back, and it all hits me in a rush. I'm immediately annihilated, and I can't see. I'm freaking the fuck out. In my head, I have a panic dialogue. You're blind. You're fucking blind. You smoked yourself blind. Holy fuck. This is it. Your life is ruined. Holy fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? Meanwhile, outside my head, my brother is saying, hey, dumbass! Turn the lights back on. I'd leaned against the light switch. I've never been so relieved.
Nice.
Nice.
That's funny.
Not me, but I was involved, and I was also high. I had just waked and baked and was on my way to work at like 6:30 a.m. right after a long weekend. Labor Day weekend, I think it was. Stopped by Dunkin' Donuts on the way, offered a coffee with a turbo shot and a sandwich. The guy working the drive-thru not only looked like a zombie, but he did something that made me know he was obliterated. He tells me my total, so I give him my debit card to run because I didn't have any cash on me. He takes my card, stares at the register for a few seconds, and then opens the drawer without swiping the card, and just hands me back the total that I was supposed to pay in cash, as well as my card back.
Thanks.
Me also being high and pretty tired as I hadn't had my coffee yet, just took the change and the card back. Something seemed off about this, so then I just kind of sat there looking at what he just handed me. Finally it clicked for me and I told him, dude, I don't think I was supposed to receive cash back. I was just trying to pay with my card. At first he looks petrified/confused. Then after like what had to be 10 seconds, he finally kind of grins and just goes, dude, I already did the sale on the register. Just take it. I fucked up.
Yeah, man. It's like...
Well, now his register's going to be short double the amount of that. Because not only did he charge it and not get paid, but he gave the person that amount of money.
Oh, my God.
At least it's only a coffee and a sandwich.
Yeah, well, if I was the guy receiving the money, I'd be like, well, thanks for the tip.
Tried to be yeah, but the person was stoned, so...
Yeah.
Tried to be inconspicuous by putting on sunglasses and tiptoeing past someone's dorm room because we forgot to invite him over to smoke. His door was open and he was facing the hallway.
Oh, no.
So he's just... It's like you ever see a dog try to be sneaky because they don't know you're watching them?
Yeah, they just do it very slowly.
I think they think if they move real slow, you can't see them. That's hilarious, though. In high school, I left a note for my parents when they got home, telling them I'd be at a friend's house for the night. The note was a page long.
Oh, jeez, what did they say?
Probably over-explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
Applied Burt's Bees lip balm to my eyelids because I thought the cooling sensation would make my eyes appear less red. Big mistake.
What is it? Birds, bees, what?
Burt's Bees. It's a brand of, like, chapstick.
To their eyelids?
They put chapstick on their eyes.
What would that... I don't think that would do anything.
I think it would hurt.
It would hurt? Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
I quietly whispered, "Everyone knows I'm high," to my buddy when we were at the store. He said, "Dude, stop yelling." I thought he was whispering, but he was screaming.
Like that. Like, everyone knows I'm high.
Yeah. That's like that Austin Powers one scene. He said, "I'm having trouble controlling the volume of my voice!"
Yeah.
Oh, I love this one. Using my phone as a light to look for my phone.
Oh, God.
That's special.
But that's like the whole, where are my glasses? And you're wearing your glasses.
That was a short and sweet one. Here's possibly the longest one on here. Freshman year of college, I was working part-time at a mall store making custom iron-press shirts. The store was usually slow after 9 p.m., and it's just me, another employee, and the assistant manager. We're all cool with each other and have smoked outside of work before. Assistant manager thinks it'd be funny if we got high during the last hour in the store. We agree, and the game plan was 2 people smoke in the storage room and 1 watches the store. Me and the assistant manager go back in the storage room and smoke a bowl. Then I tell her I'll watch the floor while our other associate joins her for the next bowl. I'm out on the floor, already high and with red eyes, just chilling. Young couple walks in. Shit. They're just browsing, and of course they decide they want to customize 2 shirts. They're newlyweds and want shirts that say just married. I'm focused at this point. I got this. I start working on the shirts. Remember, those iron press machines are hot, and I have to place each vinyl letter one by one and ensure it's straightened and everything, while I'm stoned. Shirt 1, done and looks good. Shirt 2, no problem, looks great. They love it. I'm all sweaty, but stoked. My fellow associates are still in the back smoking, so I'm solo during this whole mission. Anyway, shirts are done, so I go to ring them up. Guy wants to pay with a credit card. Don't have to count change. Yes. He hands me his Visa, I ask for his ID, all is good, and I hand it back to him. I go to the credit card machine, and of course I hit a roadblock. His card isn't swiping. I try swiping it 3 or 4 times. Nothing. So now I have to punch in the 16 digits manually. Before I do, though, I ask him if he has another credit card since this one isn't swiping. With a wide-eyed face, he just stares at me and says, "You've been swiping my driver's license."
Oh, man.
How long was he going to let that go on for? That's not too terrible.
No, could have been.
It could have gone really bad. Like, he could have burned himself on the thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to open the door to my house with my car keys and became terrified when that wasn't working out for me.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, were they trying to put the car key in the lock, or were they standing there with the fob just hitting the unlock button over and over again?
What? Like, why isn't it working?
God damn it! In the middle of a board game, I stood up to get another beer, a few feet from the game table, but had to remove the gallon of milk from the fridge to get the beer. I pick up the jug and matched eyes with a non-high friend of mine. For some reason, I thought I'd make him laugh by pretending to pour the milk on my head. The cap was not on the jug properly.
Oh.
My friend watched as Stone Me took a gallon of milk and poured it on my head. Everyone was just as confused as I was. There was no rhyme or reason for any of it. My explanation for why it happened wasn't very valid. I would imagine not.
No, if I was the other guy, that would have been hilarious.
Yo, you probably would have been really confused, too.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Last one, unfortunately, because I'm enjoying the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Stood in an elevator for about 5 minutes before realizing that no one pressed any buttons.
I've done that before.
I have done that, too. Not while high.
Yeah, same here.
All right, out of 35 all day, son.
All day and
all day, all night. All night long. Okay, so this next one is another Reddit-sourced list, but it's from Knowable. 20 parents reveal the weirdest things they've ever found in their kid's room.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, now, you're not a parent, but,
No.
you know, we're at that age where we're thinking maybe someday soon, you know?
Yeah.
What is the absolute last thing you would want to find in your kid's room? I mean, other than the obvious, like drugs.
Dead animals.
Yeah, you know what? That would probably be the absolute worst possible thing you could find, because then you're like, holy shit, my kid's a
That,
serial killer.
yeah, that's the beginning of a serial killer.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. I mean, I guess if you found...
It's scary that it didn't take me long to think of that.
No, but you know what? Like, at first I was thinking, like, porn, but then I think, I'm like, that's not that weird, though. You know, but maybe if it was, like, freaky porn.
Oh,
Like if it was, like, clown porn or something weird like that.
oh, colorophilia, or I forget what
Colorophilia, yeah.
Yeah.
And I only know that because I know the fear of clowns is colorophobia.
Yep.
And I only know that because Andrew told me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like, that reminds me of, like, Andrew was saying something the other day about, like, you know, he found this YouTube channel with, like, a whole bunch of these clips from, like, cartoons, like, mostly superhero cartoons. And they were all, for some reason, clips of characters getting frozen or getting tied up or something, like, being rendered immobile, and they were all female. And then he was like, oh, fuck. I just, stumbled onto someone's accidental porn stash, you know? Because, you know, so people have weird fetishes and shit, you know? And then somebody else said there should be a German word for when you accidentally find somebody's porn stash, and I go Schlickenfraud.
Schlickenfraud.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 20 of these weirdest things they found in their kid's room. I literally found shit on the ceiling. This kid is not even 2 yet. I did not sign up for this shit. Wait, now hold on a second. We're talking about not even 2 years old. How did the shit get on the ceiling?
Man, that's a mean splatter zone.
I must have flung it or something. Holy crap.
Yeah.
One time a bunch of my wife's and I's condoms went missing. I didn't think much of it. I just figured I'd misplaced them. About 3 weeks later, I was in my son's room and I noticed an absolutely putrid smell. It seemed to be coming from his open window.
Oh.
I slowly and cautiously approached. The smell became stronger until I was literally gagging. I could not take it anymore. I peeked my head out the window. There it was. Tacked to the wood framing right underneath the roof was a line of more than 15 slimy blue condoms. Each one was stuffed, absolutely full of every shape, texture, and color of shit. They were all stuffed so full that there was no way he didn't get his hands dirty shoving it all in there. I had to confront him about it. He told me he was making wind chimes. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Dude, that's like finding a dead animal. That's some fucking sociopathy shit, right? I'm making wind chimes out of shit-filled condoms.
Yeah, like maybe not
I
serial
can understand
killer,
a kid
but
like finding condoms and not knowing what they are is fine, you know. But like, when does he get in his head? I'm gonna fill them with shit.
like clearly these must be filled with shit and turn into wind chimes.
Yeah, and like if you're gonna fill them with something, why not anything but shit?
Water, even.
Yeah.
Like, good God.
That went in a different... I was expecting he was going to make him out of balloon. But once he said horrible smell, I'm thinking, but condoms don't have a horrible smell. They have like a kind of a faint chemical smell. Why would it...
Yeah, that's about it.
You know, maybe he had them rotting or something. But no, it was worse.
God, man.
All right, number 3. When my son was around 6, I was cleaning his room and came upon a very big bowl of thread inside of a sock intermingled with Cheetos. I unraveled it and discovered that he had tied the Cheetos at intervals along the thread, creating a kind of Cheeto garland. I asked him about it, and he said he was going to try to eat them one at a time and then poop the string out and floss himself. Flawless logic.
What the fuck?
He was trying to give himself a full-body floss.
With Cheetos? Oh my God.
That's hilarious!
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm very glad that the person found that before that happened, because you could seriously injure your insides eating string, but...
Mm-hmm.
A poop wall. He was 5 or 6 and apparently wasn't wiping well in the bathroom, so at night, laying in bed, I guess he was scratching an itchy bumhole and wiping his fingers on the wall next to the bed. Oh God, the gags.
My
8-year-old son had a folded-up note in his drawer that said, "My future" on the outside. On the inside, there was a line down the middle. One side, CIA. Other side, janitor.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
kid, there are a lot of things between those two.
Mm-hmm, but maybe he figures start on one and work on the other.
Maybe it was one of those, like, he was trying to do, like, one of those games that kids play with where they fold up a piece of paper and they make that fortune-telling thing, but...
I love making those things.
But he didn't quite get the way it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Number 6, when my daughter was 4 or 5, she would practice writing her numbers and letters over and over again. You know how in a movie they go into the serial killer's house and find scraps of paper covering the walls, completely covered in mostly illegible writing? It's like the universal code for this person is psychotic and will not hesitate to murder you for the pure joy of it. This is what my daughter's room would look like. Pages after pages of her practice writing, every inch of the page covered in writing, spread out all over the floor. Might not seem that shocking, but definitely strange to see. It honestly doesn't sound that weird.
No, it would be odd though.
I mean, it might look weird, but
it's out of the norm.
Yeah. A Playboy taped to the underside of his mattress, so if you lifted the mattress, you wouldn't directly see it.
Oh,
That's not weird. That's completely normal, and actually, the kid kind of took some precautions there, so that's actually... The kid's smarter than the average bear, I would say.
Yeah, it's a little clever
Yeah.
for that age, you know?
Well, they don't specify what age.
Well, I guess any
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
rather than just
Yeah,
stuffing
exactly.
them under the bed.
Exactly. My friend Frank used to stick his pornos in other books,
Oh, yeah.
so it would look like he was like looking at a magazine about whatever, like cooking or whatever, but he was really looking at porno.
Sears catalog.
Yeah. Overall, my kid is pretty normal. He's 7, and a month ago I found an envelope with the words "Top Secret" written on it, hidden under his mattress.
Uh-oh.
I opened it, and he had written all over the piece of paper, "My favorite color is pink," over and over. His favorite color had been green since he was 2, or so I thought. We talked to him about it, and he was afraid he'd be teased for liking pink. We just moved to a new area, and adjusting to the new school had been difficult. We talked to him about it, and he now has a few pink shirts, and we're looking to see if we can find pink toys that aren't girls' toys. He wants superheroes, soldiers, and Legos, but pink. It's harder than you think.
Sure, whatever, you know.
Hey, nothing wrong with liking pink. It's just weird that he wrote it down and put it in an envelope, and he labeled it "Top Secret."
And wrote it multiple times.
Yeah. I think he was working through some problems there.
Mm-hmm.
My 5-year-old pooped behind her bed. It didn't smell, so we couldn't find it until it had already hardened. I didn't know that poop hardened over time. I guess it gets dehydrated, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would find that, like, whenever the dogs would go outside, and then maybe one of us wouldn't find it right away, so that later on, you kick something, and it's like, the hell was that?
Well, I've only seen that with like frozen poop, but usually what I see with like dog poop is that it would get like that like white outside, like the flies would eat it or something.
Blech.
Yeah. My son plays some sort of dragon game on his Kindle. The game lets you choose your dragon's name. While chilling with my son, 11, in his room, he casually starts going through his name list. Ooh, here's Phoenix, Lulu, Sparky, and this is Dildo, my double-headed dragon. Where did you come up with that name, I ask? You know, Mom, that bird, the one who's extinct? A dildo, I think it's called. Oh, a dodo, thank goodness. So now its new name is Bilbo. Bilbo the double-headed dragon.
Double-headed.
That's great.
That's
such a relief, though, to find out that he wasn't, like, looking at some weirdo porn or something, you know?
Dildo.
Number 11, Coke cans. Dozens of them in a drawer. He'd been stealing them from the kitchen and drinking them in secret. He wasn't smart enough to get rid of the evidence, though. That's not that weird.
No, just, I guess...
Oh, kids do stuff like that.
Again, out of the norm.
Yeah. That's not really out of the norm.
Well... Yeah, but, like salvaging all these Coke cans?
I think what it was he was arrogant and didn't think he'd be caught.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it was a silky negligee. She was maybe 8 at the time. Oh, that's scary. My wife is a dab hand with a needle, and instead of a friend of hers having to return the item, she said she'd repair it. It was a brand new thingy. I don't know. What the hell's going on here?
What?
All right. At some point, we realized it wasn't where we were supposed to be. And was, what the hell are they talking about?
Like, this 8-year-old's hiding a negligee?
But I don't know, I don't know, his storytelling is so bad, I don't know what the hell. Okay, so, apparently, because I just read the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, the daughter found the negligee, snuck off with it, and for some unknown reason decided to wad it into a ball and cram it deep underneath her bed.
Okay.
So
I guess it's just weird.
So apparently they bought it, and they couldn't find it, and they were freaking out because it was, like, a lot of money.
Oh.
And they found it. I don't know why the daughter stole it. They don't. It was just badly parsed, I guess. Poop! Poop everywhere! She's 2.5. When I woke up and went to her room, she was already awake, smearing poop on the walls. Floor, windows, pillows, everywhere. Thank God she didn't leave her room. She took a dump on the floor and also stepped in it, making poopy footprints all over the place.
Oh, no.
This was this past Monday. One more reason to hate Mondays. That's terrible. That sucks.
Man.
A sealed block of cheese and a spoon. She was 2 and apparently had gotten hungry but couldn't figure out how to get at the good stuff.
Aw.
Also, don't think she didn't know that you don't eat cheese with a spoon.
Well, maybe because she eaten all her other food with a spoon.
That's probably it. You're probably right. I was cleaning my 8-year-old stepson's bedroom because it was overrun by toys. When I got to the closet where it seemed he liked to toss toys in an attempt to clean his room himself, I was hit with a horrid smell. I grabbed everything out of there, toys, dirty clothes, and came across a paper grocery bag crumpled up. I was afraid to open it as that was where the smell was coming from. I opened it to find a wadded up pair of underwear caked in dried shit. The smell was so intense I ran to the bathroom to vomit. I never said anything to him about it as he clearly had an accident and was trying to hide it.
Aww.
Well, next time try the garbage pail, kiddo.
Garbage pail kid.
Okay, so this next one's a troll entry, to be clear. A box with marijuana. When I asked him where he learned to smoke from it, he said, "You, Dad, I learned it from you."
I learned it from watching you.
That was a commercial, yeah. Come on now. Number 17, I do not know why, but my 8-year-old has taped a mustard packet to his door and labeled it top secret.
Here we go.
Well, don't fuck with it. The mustard mafia will come right after you. That's amazing. My son is on a local swim team and goes to practice every day after school. He's a talented swimmer, but sort of a disorganized kid, and at first I didn't bat an eye when he reported he'd misplaced his swim goggles. So I bought him another pair, which he promptly also lost. This went on for quite a while, leading to shouting matches. The goggles weren't expensive, but they weren't cheap, $20 to $25 range. And after about the 10th pair, well, no, that is expensive. After 10 pairs, you think that's fucking $200.
That is a
lot.
lot.
For goggles, yeah. I told him he needed to pay to replace future pairs himself. He still kept losing them. I didn't know whether to be exasperated or amused. Mostly exasperated at the time. About a year later, I'm supervising my daughter as she cleans her room, and we pull the bed away from the wall. There's a clattering sound, then a pair of swim goggles appears out of nowhere, seeming to fall from beneath the mattress. My daughter looks convincingly clueless. I investigate and find a tear in the bottom of the upholstered box spring and 31 pairs of swim goggles stashed inside my daughter's bed. It was like a clown car. Every time I reach in and retrieve the pair, more pairs would come tumbling along with it. My daughter swears she had no idea what happened, but eventually we figured it out. Her pet ferret Miles had been stealing the goggles and stashing them when she let him out to play. There was some other junk in there too, a couple of pens and the insole of a sneaker, but goggles were clearly his favorite. He had been taking them from my son's gym bag, always left on the floor with the zippered flap conveniently ajar in the next room.
Wow.
That had an amazing ending. So the ferret was stealing the goggles and stashing them in his little nest.
I wonder what it was about the goggles, though. Of anything
probably
else.
Shiny.
That's true.
I found $200 in my son's room once when he was like 9.
Oh.
I was really worried where he'd gotten it for a while. And that's where it ends? You're going to just leave us hanging with that?
That's it?
You asshole! We want to know where the kid got $200. He's not... What is he, the 9-year-old Heisenberg? What's going on?
Yeah.
Wait, maybe I can click on the person's username and... No, it just brings me to their Reddit. I don't care about that. That's some bullshit!
Well, maybe it was from... Maybe the kid stole it from the dad?
$200? And you don't realize it's missing?
I don't know, man.
I mean, you don't go, oh shit, that's where all my money went? Just, where'd he get this? Alright, there's one more. The worst thing I ever discovered in my kid's room was my then 6-year-old and 3-year-old daughters sitting on the bed with every single strand of their hair laying on the floor along with a pair of school safety scissors.
Whoa, cut your hair with safety scissors.
My. Well, safety scissors just mean they have the rounded tips you can't stab with them.
Yeah, but wouldn't that take a little bit longer? Like, damn.
I'm actually gonna look. I'm looking at the thread, so maybe I can find out where the $200 came from.
Oh man!
Because I'm sure that somebody was like, "Okay, well, what happened?"
Give me more.
Oh, okay, here it is. So somebody asked, did you ever find out how? And they said, yeah, it was very boring. It was mostly just money he'd saved up over a year or so. I knew he was saving up, but when a 9-year-old says he's saving money, you just kind of imagine he has like $15 in a shoebox somewhere, you know? Well, good for that
Wow.
kid. Good for that kid.
Yeah.
But you do worry, like you felt like a 9-year-old, $200. You're thinking, are they selling ass? What's going on?
Selling ass at 9.
I've heard weirder things. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I just closed the wrong tab. That's fucking great. Okay.
Bum, bum,
Ba, 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 ba.
bum.
Out of 35, I gotta say that, okay, there was a troll one.
Yeah.
And also a few of them weren't really that weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, the poop ones, a lot of, like, I found poop. Yes, you're going to find poop. The poop wind chimes, though, was the weirdest one.
Fuck.
I mean, I can't imagine anything weirder than that. But, I'm gonna say 18. What do you say? Out of 35.
Oh, wow. Out of what, 35?
35, yeah.
I'm going to go 30 because
Really?
I still think it's still poop. It's something you don't
Yeah,
want
but
to
it's not
find.
that. Yeah, but it's the weirdest thing, not the grossest or whatever. It's not even that weird because you're gonna find poop. Kids do weird things with poop.
If I still found, like, I would, if I had a kid, I would be hoping maybe my kid won't be the kid that has poop in their room. And then you find it and you're like, huh, and it still sucks.
That's called being delusional.
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's delusional. All right, this next one's from pref.com. And, oh wait, no, never mind that one. Fuck that shit. All right. Okay, here's one from Knowable, and this is surgeons revealing their biggest oh shit moment.
We're getting a lot of stories this time.
I wanted
see.
to make this a story-centric episode.
Mm.
I like to do themed episodes. Like, remember when we did that one episode that was all worst lists?
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, but I wanted to make this one story. I like to do little themes every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I got a lot of these, you know. So this is surgeons revealing their biggest oh shit moments. Now,
Oh, no.
let's face it. The last person you want to say oh shit while they're working is a surgeon.
And I've had a lot of work done on me, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna cringe at some of these.
So there's 15 of them. When my
Okay.
nurse, a certified registered nurse anesthetist, accidentally gave my patient a lower dose of anesthesia during heart surgery I was performing, and the patient opened his eyes and screamed during the operation, so we had to stop it. Scary shit.
Oh no. Oh,
Holy
Oh.
crap. That's bad.
that gives me
Yeah.
bad feelings.
Craziest, probably a medical student passing out face first into the wound, then falling backwards and cracking his skull on the floor.
Oh my
He starts
God.
bleeding from the head and isn't moving. Just total silence for a few seconds. We didn't know whether to laugh or yell at him or what. Luckily, I didn't have to have that talk with the family.
Sorry
And he's
about
back.
that.
Did you get a call?
No, my timer went off
Timer went. Oh, your alarm. Okay.
for 8 o'clock.
It's not 8.
No, it's 10 to 8.
Yeah. Okay. Did you hear that last one?
Yeah, the cracking
Yeah.
skull and oh
Yeah.
my God.
Okay. Veterinarian here. This happened in my 4th year of vet school. I watched a bull stomp his own intestines. A very valuable bull had an obstruction in his intestines that needed to be removed. People will only put the amount of money a food animal is worth into surgery to fix it, so we had to do this on the cheap. Full anesthesia on an animal that big is crazy expensive, so he did a standing surgery. What that means is the bull is put in a chute, numbed up really well, and other than light sedation, they're totally awake and standing for surgery. So
Oh.
the surgeons make 2 to 3 foot vertical incision in his right flank and start pulling out armfuls of intestines and handing them to me and the other vet student assistants. There's a sterile drape on the bull, and we're all in full sterile gowns. The obstruction was pretty bad, so they had to remove a couple of feet of damaged intestines and then sew the ends back together. There's a lot of blood. A lot. The bull is starting to get stressed, impatient, and weak from blood loss. It starts kicking at the chute, trying to move. It gets more sedatives, and the surgeons try to sew faster. Everyone is sweating, and there's a lot of swearing going on. The puddle of blood at our feet is getting bigger. The bull... This person's a good storyteller. The bull does a side shuffle, and the intestines being held by another student are trapped between the bull's ribs and the metal bars of the chute. This is bad. Even a few seconds of this can do permanent damage. The bull is too heavy to just shove over, so they remove one of the side rails of the chute to free the intestines. The bull is getting really pissed off now and is trying to lunge from side to side, and we're ordered to let go of the intestines we are holding to keep the bull from breaking our arms against the rails of the chute. The bull is really freaking out and manages to get partially and then completely out of the chute and starts running around the room, mooing and stomping and ripping huge chunks of intestines out of itself. Blood and guts are everywhere. Gallons of blood. Keep in mind this room is in a barn where the area around the chute was clean. The rest of the room is covered in hay and dirt. Some huge guys manage to subdue the bull and wrestle it to the ground, and they give it more sedatives and pain meds. My job was to sit on his shoulder. Another bigger student is sitting on his head. Everything is a complete fucking fiasco at this point, and I just felt so terrible for the poor bull who was bellowing nonstop. They wash off his mangled intestines as best they can, stitch the ends together, dump a shit ton of penicillin into his abdomen, and close him up. The bull survived surgery and then was hospitalized and got tons of IV antibiotics and fluids and care. Every day his temperature got higher until finally he died a week later from massive infection in his abdomen. Duh. So that was awful. I have absolutely no idea what they told the owner. As far as I know, no one got sued.
Oh my god.
Can I just point out how dumb that was?
Wow.
Can I point out how stupid that entire situation is? So, okay, they say in the very beginning this is a food animal.
Yeah.
Which means they are going to eat it. They're going to butcher it. It's going to be steak. So, if it has a blockage in the intestines, and it's already large enough to be, like, too big for, sedatives or whatever, why don't you just kill it and eat it?
And pumping it full of sedatives and, like, antibiotics.
Yeah, now you can't eat it.
Yeah.
Because all those drugs were in its system when it died, and it had a massive infection. So now you basically wasted money on surgery. You've wasted money on the animal. The animal died needlessly.
And
like you could have just said, all right, it has a blockage. We'll just butcher it. Process it, get all the meat and everything, and just sell it or eat it or whatever you're going to do.
Put it down humanely.
Yeah, exactly. With the bolt, the electricity, and
Yeah.
I mean that's just ridiculous. Why would you put money into a food animal like that?
And such a complex, arbitrary way of doing it too.
I almost don't believe that, except that the person told the story so well. Like, I believe the person telling the story, but I just don't believe the situation.
It was well told, though.
The situation
I was into it.
I was into it too. All right, we were putting up a central line for a drip with a 13 gauge needle. That's about 1.2 millimeters, relatively big compared to most needles, in the patient's external jugular, and all of a sudden the needle went right into the jugular. We all started panicking because usually with a drip the needle is meant to come out and only the plastic remains, but now we've lost the needle inside the guy's jugular.
Oh, God.
Before we could even fish it out, it was gone. I looked at the fellow surgeons and nurses, and before we could do anything, we rushed him right into the theater. After a few moments, we fished the needle out near his subclavian vein, closer towards the shoulder, and we breathed a sigh of relief. That's close.
Whew, that is...
Made it all the way to the shoulder?
That's a needle in a haystack, if you know what I mean. Oh, my God.
Well, no, if you know the purpose of a vein, you know where it ends up.
Yeah, but...
That would have went right into his heart.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Way back in the day, pre-op was done with alcohol-based cleaners. Naked, sedated guy with a light sheen of cleaning fluid on him plus static electric spark equals fully engulfed in flames. Everyone just stood there for a second till someone grabbed a sheet and put out the flame. Surgery went well, no complications, slight suntan.
Like, well, that was a moment.
Can you imagine it's just like, like you're prepping this guy and all of a sudden, boom, and you're like, oh, yeah, cover me out. Like, whoa, that's crazy.
You just adjust your tie.
My first C-section was quite the shocker, but after that, not a lot fazed me anymore. This event occurred during one of my internships as a high schooler to see if medicine would be my field. Why, I'm not sure, but they let me attend a C-section. They placed me at the feet of a woman that was numb chest down. I gave her a little nod and the operation starts. Well, no one had thought to tell me that once the belly is cut, the liquids go out too. This is a logical thing, but I was seated at least 3 meters from the feet of said woman, and the fluids gushing from her abdomen came all the way to my feet. Here's me standing in a woman's pregnancy fluids. Oh fuck, I must have looked very shocked because the other surgeons had a laugh about my reaction. Ever since, I've not been shocked once.
You got to get past that initial...
When you think about it, though, they got past that shock when they were still in high school, so that's pretty early on, so good for them. Okay, number 7. I was in charge in the unit the other day and this happened. We had a patient in the ICU who had some big abdomen trauma. He had gone to the OR and was too sick to be able to close his abdomen, so we left it open. We had a piece of plastic covering, like a bag, covering his intestines, and then we placed a vacuum sponge dressing on top of that called a wound vac. The patient's nurse called me into the room to look at the abdomen because she thought she saw pieces of the bowel seeping out of the bag getting stuck against the wound vac. I agreed and thought the bowel looked pretty dusky as well, so we called the doc to come look at it. The resident agreed and talked to his attending, who told him to take the wound vac off, tuck the bowel back into the bag it had escaped from, and put a new wound vac on. It all just sounded like it was going to be a disaster, but whatever. So resident comes in, takes off the wound vac, and the bowels had become very swollen from the fluids, trauma, etc. So when we took the wound vac off, they all just slipped out of the patient. The bag had dislodged significantly. We would tuck the bowels on one side, they'd spill out the other. Here we had this guy in his bed, disemboweling, and we could not get everything back in him, in the bag, or anything. Luckily, the drugs we had the patient on kept him very nicely sedated, and we had other drugs to control any problems with his blood pressure, and the guy wasn't overtly bleeding. It was messy. We really just had to step back and say, well, shit, how do we get this guy's guts back inside him? Ended up having to call in 6 other people to help tuck things here and there until he could finally get back into the OR for them to put everything back into its proper place.
Oh,
It's almost like a fucking Benny Hill routine, huh?
yeah. I can just picture the music. Stuffing it all back in there. It's like an Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah. I wasn't present for this, but I got to deal with the fallout. Client brings his cat, found as a stray, to be spayed. The vet, my boss, preps cat for surgery and begins cutting. Can't find the uterus or ovaries. Uh-oh, cat is a male. Poor kitty just had his belly sliced open for no reason whatsoever. The owner was understandably furious.
Oh, no.
Did they not see the balls dangling or something? Like really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Talk about it.
I mean, usually when you say spayed, it refers to a female. But, I mean, maybe
female,
but you don't expect the owner to know the terminology. You know what I mean? You're the doctor. You're supposed to know the terminology.
Mm-hmm. Like spay, neuter.
Yeah, like same shit, right?
Or what if they said fix the cat, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, like, that's a pretty, like before you even do anything, like, check to see if it's male or female.
Like, you, no matter how sure you are, you gotta check.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You see giant kitty balls hanging there.
Yeah.
Nurse here, I was assisting with a simple vasectomy, and the doctor was having trouble differentiating the vas deferens from the testicular artery.
Oh,
I
no.
stopped him just before he cut the artery. Yeah. That would be bad. If he cut that, the testicle would die, not to mention make a very bloody mess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about making a vast difference.
Oh, God. And that's why you have, like, 15 people in surgery.
Yeah.
Okay, number 10, the medical stuff really becomes a blur. Complications, bad outcomes, crazy patients, I don't know. But after a few years, even the bad stuff just becomes part of the routine. But there was one moment that still sticks with me from training. I was called into a meeting with the program director, which is never a good thing, and I wasn't entirely sure why. He makes some small talk, then starts asking about one of the junior residents who had been on my service. Definitely one of the weaker residents, but hardworking and likable. I start talking about her performance and her relationship with the other residents, her strengths and weaknesses, etc. After a minute, I came to the horrible realization that he wasn't just asking about her, he was gathering ammunition to fire her, and I was being part of the firing squad. I jammed on the brakes and tried to talk her up, talking about her work ethic and how well she got along with the nurses and the team, but we both knew it was a done deal before I sat down. I don't know why it bothered me so much compared to kids who burned to death and the like, but that sudden realization that while I was sitting there, that someone I liked kind of personally, who had spent most of their adult life struggling in undergrad, medical school, and the lab, who had what I suspect was a 6-figure debt, was about to get their career destroyed, just stunned me. I don't know if she was going to be an unsafe doctor. I think the fact that we liked her allowed her to slide further than she should have in retrospect, but all the terrible things that happen in residency, that's the one I think about the most often.
Oh, boy.
Fair enough. It's very different from the others, but fair enough.
It is very different. It's different spin on that. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Number 11. Yeah, this really happened to me when I was in training to be a cardiologist. I was in my second or third heart procedure / catheterization when my senior doctor got sick, ripped off his surgical gown, and ran out of the room. The doctor had just yelled, "Oh no," and left. I had just positioned these catheters with wires into the sleeping patient's heart. They were just hanging out there, pulsating into his heartbeat. Apparently the doctor had gotten food poisoning and made a run for the bathroom, never to return.
Oh,
I've never made it to this point in the procedure before, and I'm just wondering where to take it from here. I haven't even been taught how to take them out safely. I'm looking at the vitals and monitors like, fuck, what do I do now? Of course, they paged my senior cardiology fellow in training who was taking a nap and not returning any pages or calls. No other doctors around. Finally, thank God, my tech assistant, who had done these procedures before since I was born, gives me a nudge to flush the catheters, which I do to prevent blood clots and death, essentially. And after a few minutes, properly removes catheters and wires. They get treated like shit, but have saved all the fellows in training and senior doctors many, many times in complicated situations with their knowledge. Oh, there you go.
Man, worst time to get food
Well, you got to
poisoning.
think, those tech assistants have seen so many surgeries. They probably know the surgeries better than the doctors.
Yeah, probably.
Number 12, I was rounding a few months back, and a guy gets wheeled into the ICU smelling terrible. I walked over, and the dude had maybe the most macerated legs I had ever seen.
Oh.
There were things moving on the bed, and the suction container was full of maggots.
Oh.
Turns out the dude had been weaving on the road, and the police pulled him over and opened the door as maggots fell onto the road. He got taken to the ER, arrested, taken up to the ICU, and very rapidly debrided, then bilateral above knee amputated. He actually made it out of the hospital, but I cannot imagine waking up one day and having no legs. I really wish I knew where he was driving, though. Hopefully he was driving to the hospital.
Yeah, I mean...
But how could you drive like that?
Like, how does it get to that point?
Oh, that's so terrible. Good Lord.
Ugh, gives me the creepy
That's like that
crawlies.
Stephen King story about the poison beer
Poison beer?
that turned people into, like giant sludge creatures or something.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was called Gray Matter. It was a short story that Stephen King wrote way back in the day.
Alright.
Surgical nurse here. I was an OR nurse for a very short time in between two jobs in hospital surgical units taking care of post-op patients. Right now I'm in a surgical step-down unit, which means really sick post-op patients who aren't quite sick enough for the ICU but could still start tanking any minute. Most of our oh shit moments are pretty boring, like oh shit they found more cancer, oh shit this oxygen percentage is going down, oh shit there's a mucus plug obstructing her airway, things like that.
Oh.
In the OR, the worst I saw was some shithead optometrist who thought spending 5 minutes per patient was a good way to do cataract surgeries. Most surgeons spend about 15 to 25 minutes per surgery. At one point he told me to keep the pre- and post-op eye drops uncapped because he didn't want to have to wait the literal 5 seconds it took me to unscrew the caps after each surgery. Well, I guess this guy's got shit to do.
That's a bad idea, though.
He wants to go back to playing his 3DS in the break room or something. The patient's eyes looked all mangled and... Oh, okay. Yeah, the patient's eyes looked all mangled and misshapen after the surgery, whereas every other cataract surgery I've ever seen, the patients look fine right afterwards. Not really a no-shit moment, but I told my boss that the day after I never wanted to work with this guy again. It was an accident waiting to happen. I heard one of his patients got an infection and lost their eye, but most of them were fine. Still, I wouldn't have let him watch my goldfish for a week-long vacation, let alone come at my eye with a knife. He was a douche nozzle. As you said, that's an accident waiting to happen, right?
That poor person with their mangled eye.
Good Lord.
Oh.
When I was a student, my chief resident was sleeping with one of my friends who was also a student. We were both operating with the chief of surgery when someone pages the chief during surgery. The nurse looked at it and said it wasn't important. Chief gets annoyed and asks her, I just call it back. She replies it was a text page. Would he like her to read it? He says yes. It was my friend telling him she wanted to meet him in a call room after he was done. Paraphrasing here. Another awkward silence. Residents sleeping with students is a no-no, and having them page you in surgery is one too. But the chief of surgery was having an affair with the nurse. We all knew it. So after a rapid-fire exchange of significant glances around the table, we all shut the hell up and finished the case and never spoke of it again. So basically, the resident doctor got booty called during surgery by one of his students.
You can come to my room afterwards.
Yeah. Last one. General surgeon, 5 years experience. Maybe not my biggest, but one of my first oh shits once I've been let loose upon the world was just realizing that I couldn't be in two places that I desperately needed to be at the same time. There's a certain vulnerability that happens when you're scrubbed in on a case in the OR. You're the captain of this particular ship right now, and you really should have your whole focus dedicated to it and only it. But sometimes you're in there in the middle of the night, you're on a weekend, and your partners are all gone, and there's just a skeleton crew running the hospital. Your goddamn pager keeps going off, and your phone keeps ringing, and sometimes it's just Nurse X on the floor who thinks her patient really, really needs an order for Tylenol at 2 a.m., even though the patient is asleep. Sometimes the call is about how your patient is actively dying. Now, right now, heart attack, stroke, blood painting the walls of the room. Everyone trying to communicate this to you is in the process of either trying to stop the dyingness or just freaking the fuck out and begging you to do something. But your elbows deep in the viscera of another very ill person. You can't really just drop what you're doing and race upstairs. You've been giving an equally strong promise to both these people that you will look after and protect them from harm, and you have to break that promise to one of them. You have to keep sailing that particular ship, otherwise both will go down. If you're lucky, there's an ICU team that can swoop in and help, or residents experienced enough to handle things, or a backup partner who can ride to your rescue and bitch about having to help out Junior all night later. Other times, there's literally nothing you can do except tell the nurses, do what you can, I'll be up as soon as I'm done with the operation. I suppose that's part of the job, is that sometimes, they're like, oh shit, this guy's dying, you need to come here, and they're like, well, I'm in surgery, so no.
Oh, that's the whole story. Okay, yeah, that's
pretty
just
much, yeah.
It's like two terrible things are going wrong. Which one do I choose?
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, out of 15, I think, 15. That's pretty freaky, actually.
Yeah, those made me uncomfortable. 15 all the way.
Okay. All right. Very similar. This one's from Tickled. 31 people admit to the stupidest thing that has ever come out of their mouth.
Okay. 31, my goodness. Okay.
Pull into the parking lot. Holy fuck, I think they towed my car. I was driving my car. I told my girlfriend she looked like a hot version of Gollum.
Oh, no.
How does that even work?
Like, I'm trying to think if Gollum was
Sexy
hot.
Gollum?
Like, even the Halloween costume would look ugly.
That ain't a thing, man. Don't say that. Girl who notices me watching her dancing at the bar. Do you like what you see? Me trying to downplay just how much I liked it. I've seen better.
I've had better.
I woke up from a deep sleep and tried to pee really bad, but saw the bathroom door was closed. I knew it was only me and my dad home, so I ran downstairs, found him in the living room, and yelled, "Are you in the bathroom?"
Oh, God.
He slowly shook his head and I ran back upstairs. Woke up later and remembered. Embarrassment followed. Well, when you're half asleep and you're about to burst, I guess you can say some pretty stupid fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
While riding in the car with a friend, I kind of have to poop. Me. But I just went. I meant every bit of it, as it took me almost 10 seconds of my friend laughing for me to realize what happened.
You don't have to go, because I just did.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope the baby isn't mine. I'm female and just found out that my ex had a child. It doesn't work that way, lady.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Good Lord.
At least she's aware of her dum-dumness.
Yeah. A week at... Well, all these people are if they posted it, right?
Yeah.
A week after getting my first car, I asked my father if the expiration sticker on the license plate meant that the car wouldn't be good anymore after that date. I was 17. Good Lord. I would hope not, considering that only lasts like a year, 2 years at most, depending on where you are. I once argued vehemently with my friend that the word ambiguous meant very. The ambiguously gay duo made so much more sense after I was set straight.
Set straight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A guy got in an elevator pushing a double stroller, and one half of the stroller was the tiniest little newborn baby I'd ever seen in my life. The other half was covered with a baby blanket. I wondered if he had newborn twins, or if he had one newborn and one toddler. Unfortunately, what came out of my mouth was, are they both the same kind? Wow.
The same kind of what?
Same kind
Species?
of baby, I guess. I don't know. In Paris, I said bon noir to a black man.
Oh, no.
You know what bon noir means, right?
Good black.
Good black. I said bon noir to a black man who had just made me a crepe. It was nighttime and I was trying to say good night. Bon noir means good black. I was trying to say bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit. Yeah.
Yeah. Name a country that starts with the letter Q. Cuba.
Cuba.
That's Cuba's rapper name. Q-BA.
Cuba.
Yeah. Me when I was 17 and getting pulled over by a police officer. So, you weren't wearing your seatbelt, right? Wink. I was wearing my seatbelt, but I was speeding. I'm going to try this one more time. I didn't see you wearing your seatbelt, which is not a moving violation, as opposed to speeding, which is. Understood? No, I was wearing my seatbelt, officer. Okay, you were speeding. Here's your ticket.
Oh.
My parents. You may be honest, but by God, how the fuck did we raise such an idiot?
Oh, that's a facepalm moment right there.
Guy's trying to do you a favor.
Yeah, man.
Mike Tyson? Isn't that the guy who made the George Foreman grill? Oh. No, he's the chicken guy, don't you know?
Not the chicken guy.
Well, is it Tyson's chicken? When my dad and brother were in London for 4th of July... Oh, God, this has gone bad places. I know it. When my dad and my brother were in London for 4th of July, I remember saying, I bet the 4th of July fireworks are insane. My sister just looked at me like, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, London, England. Wow.
I wouldn't think that the 4th of July would be a particularly happy holiday for them.
No. It's just another day, if anything.
Yeah, we lost the colonies.
Oh, well.
Long distance friend. It's a full moon tonight. Me. Yeah, our moon is full too.
Turns out it's full everywhere.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm half Hispanic, half white, but could pass for black. I was adopted by a German-Irish mother and a Russian-Jewish father. Read, extremely white people. One day as a teenager, I absent-mindedly asked my mother, did you and Dad ever think about not telling me I was adopted?
What?
So basically, he's half Hispanic, half white, but could pass for black, so he's probably half Dominican.
Yeah.
So he looks extremely different from his, German, Irish, Russian, Jew parents, you know?
Yes.
Did you ever think about not telling me I was adopted? That reminds me, you ever see that movie The Jerk with Steve Martin?
Yeah.
You mean I'm gonna stay this color? Oh, when they told him he was adopted.
Yeah. What?
I played high school hockey, and after beating one of our rivals, I was so full of adrenaline that while going to our locker room, which was right next to the other teams, I yelled, "We just suck your dicks!" I was never good at trash talking.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
The other team could ride that out for the rest of the season.
And I'm sure they did. Talking to boss on phone. Boss, okay, nice job on that case. Talk to you later. Okay, love you too.
It's kind of
Wow.
like, I wonder, I don't know if this is going to be on here,
Well,
but has someone ever brought you, a meal at a restaurant and said, have a good meal, and you say, you too?
No, but I've heard that. I've heard people do it. I've not, luckily, knock on wood here, not had that happen to me. I'm sure.
Oh, I said that a number of times.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll happen eventually, because that's, so common,
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough steel in the world to build the Eiffel Tower?
I hope so.
What? What the fuck does that mean, even?
Yeah.
Wow. Trying to buy a bus ticket. 1 ticket, please. 2? No, just the 1. Where to?
Yeah.
That's like a fucking Laurel and Hardy gag right there.
Yeah. Who's on first?
90 minutes? I thought we had an hour and a half. I still get made fun of for that, as you should.
Yeah, of course.
That's funny. One morning after another sleepless nights, I had episodes of insomnia when I was in my young 20s, I went to work by train. There were sliding doors between the cars and exits. The door in my car was actually open, so I slid it shut, then walked headfirst into it. Hurt like hell. Took me a while to fully grasp the scope of my stupidity. Other passengers were understandably perplexed and looked at me like there was something really wrong and dangerous about me. I said, it's okay. He's fine.
Oh my god.
Well, aside from the initial stupidity, they did just walk into a door, so they're probably like, what?
Scramble your brains.
Orange isn't a color, it's a flavor, dumbass.
What? Orange flavor.
I always wondered which term came first. Did we call the color orange because oranges are orange, or do we call the fruit orange because they are orange?
I'd like to think the color maybe came first.
I guess it depends on where it derived from in other languages, because English is derived from Latin, so I guess it would you'd have to look at the Latin for it.
And I don't know what orange is in Latin.
L'orange. That's French. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're all derived from Latin, like French, German, English.
Mm-hmm.
You know those things you put papers in? They fold and sometimes have designs or photos on them? I think they're called folders. No, that's not it. You fold them. Folders? No. Wah, wah.
What's left?
I don't know. Can you let me go this time? I just got a ticket last week for speeding on the same road.
Oh, no.
That's just going to make them think you're a fucking moron. Amsterdam? When'd you go to Canada?
What the hell?
Maybe there's a town called Amsterdam in Canada, but that's usually not what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe there is, but I've never heard of it.
They're talking about the Netherlands, you know.
Mm.
When I was a little kid, the first time I had peanuts, oh my god, this tastes kind of like peanut butter. I would think so. And it's right there in the name. It's right there in the name. As a freshman in high school, I was selected to give a speech at the local Rotary Club on my vision of the future. Really big event to a 14-year-old. There were 100 or so people and a fancy dinner. Anyway, I got nervous, and during my speech, I got distracted at looking at my note cards and blurted out, "We all live in a future where people are judged on the color of their skin and not the content of their character." Well, the way things are going,
Maybe.
we're heading in that direction, it seems. Or I should say, heading back into that direction.
Yeah, we're going backwards.
Yeah. Not me, but a guy friend. We were paying at Chipotle. Employee, you two together? Haha, no, we're just friends. He meant the order.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. It's dumb, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Looking at a handheld map, where's the You Are Here icon? I was a senior in high school at the time.
A senior.
It's not a fucking Marauders map, man.
Oh, the Marauders map.
Yeah, where you see the little footprints
Mm-hmm.
telling you where you are and where everyone else is. Crossing the border back into America from Mexico, sweating bullets because all my paperwork and ID got stolen, and a border guard says, "Everyone in here American?" I reply, "Si, senor."
Oh, God.
That was a very long day for that person, huh?
Bye.
Well, that's the last one. Out of 31, how dumb do you think this was?
Some of them were kind of doopy, but maybe not dumb.
Yeah, some of them are like mind-blowingly stupid, and some of them are just like your average run-of-the-mill dumb.
28.
I'm gonna say 25. Say 25.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. I do have more. I'm not gonna do that one. That one's depressing. Let's see.
Why? What was it?
It was like examples of when you've witnessed somebody throw their life away, kind of thing.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, just someone with potential doing something really stupid, you know.
No.
I did read it ahead of time. I was like, nah, it's too depressing.
I want something fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is fun. So, it's 10, there's only 10, insane stories of childbirths that clearly revealed a cheating spouse.
Oh, boy.
You know, like baby coming out in different color kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is from pref.com. My friend's a nurse, and when she delivered her first baby, as soon as she got the baby out, she looked at it, and looked at the parents and asked, "Okay, which of you has 6 fingers?" The mother broke down crying, yelling, "I'm sorry," to the husband. As it turns out, their neighbor apparently has 6 fingers.
Whoa. Cool.
Yeah, that is a hereditary trait.
Yeah, and just imagine how awesome they'll be at playing the piano. Oh.
Usually the 6th figure gets removed.
Oh,
Doesn't always.
damn.
It depends on how formed it is, because sometimes the 6th finger's just like a little nub.
Yeah, like a little offshoot.
Yeah. If it's like a full finger, they'll leave it. But you know, one thing that they never put into the movies, like the Hannibal Lecter movies, is that Hannibal Lecter is supposed to have 6 fingers on his left hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was one of his, and between Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal, he got it removed, and he had the scar though. That's how they would identify him, because he got like all this plastic surgery and shit. My mom has seen a lot of babies come out the wrong color, but the story she always tells is a very dark black couple who ended up having a baby that came out completely white with white blonde hair.
Whoa.
The dad stormed out before the doctor could tell him the baby was albino.
Yeah.
And he yelled the whole way down the hallway something about the lines of, "I feed you, I fucked you, I rubbed your damn back, and you give me a white baby." He was apparently heard in the parking lot singing, "That baby ain't mine." He came back in the morning with coffee for the staff and a big bouquet of flowers and balloons for his wife because his mom or someone asked if the baby could have been albino since he had an albino cousin.
Oh, man.
That's rough, though. I mean, as much as he was wrong, you can kind of understand his reaction, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a black dude, you're with a black chick, baby comes out white, you're going to think, what the fuck?
But, I mean, there are still, like, I've seen a black albino before. I went to school with one.
Yeah, but that's not going to be,
be...
that's not the average person's first thought. The first
You know,
thought is,
that's
my
true.
wife fucked a white dude.
That's true.
That's the
I
first
guess
thought. Like, some Irish guy got at my wife, and...
I guess going in, I kind of already knew ahead of time.
Because you know people like that. Okay.
Yeah, you got me there.
Number 3, my friend was a delivery nurse for the hospital that all high-risk pregnancies go to. They're extremely busy, and she has brought a lot of people into the world. She once delivered a baby in the parking lot by herself. This has come up on a weekly basis, but she shared the best story with us. A Caucasian couple come in, and the mother is in labor. When the dude is filling out paperwork, the mother takes the doctor aside. She tells him there is a chance the baby may be a different race than the father, and to let her know as soon as the baby is born.
Oh.
The baby is born. The doctor turns to the mother and announces loudly, "Congratulations on your white baby boy." He couldn't have been a little subtle about it.
On your white baby boy.
Maybe he was just thinking, this bitch, I'm going to fucking put her on blast.
Yeah, talk about a subtle blast, a light blast.
That's not subtle, though.
Yeah, but to the husband, it's like, why did he say white?
Yeah, but that's going to prey on him, and he's going to eventually figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, a patient asked if both possible fathers could be in her C-section so that neither would miss the birth of his child. They'll figure out the details later.
We'll work out everything else. Yeah.
Work it out on Maury, I guess.
You are not the father, and then he does a big dance.
And Guile's theme starts playing.
Da-da-da-da.
It goes with everything.
It does.
Number 5, this happened to my immediate family. My mother is a white mix American, brown hair, green eyes, married a full-blooded Japanese man. My 2 younger brothers and I are very, very obviously half Jap. I got the black hair, brown eyes, and a slight cast to my eyes. My brothers look Jap as fuck, in the face with brown hair and lighter eyes. After the 3rd kid, things weren't going so hot with my mother and father. A lot of fights, a lot of nights where I'd wake up at the age of 5 and find my dad slept on the couch. Mom gets pregs again. Boy, do they have to shorten every word?
Oh, yeah.
Even though they only had sex once after my youngest brother was born, the relationship continues to deteriorate during the pregnancy. The big day comes, out comes my baby sister, last of the bunch. My sister was born white with a shock of bright red hair and a very pale complexion and no Jap features at all. So clearly this chick is like Irish, you know?
Oh, boy.
My father's best friend was a tall Danish red-headed dude. I was close. It took my father about 36 hours to put 2 and 2 together. That's 36 hours too many. It should take him about 5 seconds to put that together. He confronted my mother in the hospital, and she admitted she'd been fucking his best friend behind his back since before my youngest brother was born.
Oh, that is scummy, dude.
Divorce happened not long after that. My father ran the fuck away from all that bullshit.
Yep.
Funny thing, I didn't realize my sister was from another father until I was 16 years old, and my girlfriend asked why my sister looked nothing like me and my brothers. I asked my mother and got the full story. To this day, she's not my half-sister, she's my sister. We grew up together, she's my sis, I'm an oldest bro. But yeah, it ended the marriage more or less on the spot. Well, maybe over a period of 3 days, holy crap.
36 hours?
Well, day and a half, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said 3 days. I'm tired. But yeah, wow, man. Holy crap, right?
Like, I could just see the dad, like, sitting there, like...
The wheels are turning, right? Like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
Very slowly.
I'm Japanese.
But...
She's white.
She's white.
But she's got dark hair and dark eyes.
No, wait. Let me go back to the beginning.
But I'm Japanese. And this kid comes out, you know, looking like they're ready to join the Aryan Nation, so...
God.
Alright, number 6. Not a doctor, but my best friend's stepbrother was that guy who found out he wasn't the father because the baby was black. I'll try to make it short. Dude had gone to rehab twice and was doing really well. He came back home for a weekend and fucked his ex-girlfriend. Left and went back to his house states away to continue his newfound life. Got the call she was pregnant and dropped everything to come back and be a father. We were really worried he would relapse, but he was great. So 9 months of preparation goes by. He was going to be an awesome dad. All worries about relapsing were gone, and he seems ready to become the best dad he could ever be. Baby comes out. Everybody's happy. Nurse takes him aside after a few minutes and says, I want to ask you something. You do know that's not your kid, right? He says, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Well, that baby is at least half black, but the pigments are probably going to really darken. Because I don't know if you know this, but like black babies are not like fully black when they come right out.
Well, no, they're not like freaking pitch black.
Yeah, they don't come out looking like Wesley. You know, they come out looking like Rihanna.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, so he goes over to his ex and asks if there's any ways what the nurse just told him is true. She starts sobbing and breaks down completely, admits that she fucked a black guy right around the time he came back. Ooh. He says, all right, I'm glad you and the baby are healthy. Have a nice life. Walks into the waiting room where all the new he took it pretty well, actually.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. Walks into the waiting room where all the new grandparents are waiting. Cheers, celebration. Everything good? Yep. Healthy baby, healthy mom. I'm not the father. I'm out of here. Walked right out the fucking door. The girl's parents even wanted him to pay and support. Why?
What?
He moved back to where he got his life together and is doing incredibly well, but man, I wish he had all that time back.
Yeah, I'd be wishing.
You know what, though? It probably worked out for him because it gave him something to focus on and it got him over his drug problem.
You know, yeah.
That's probably why he wasn't too mad.
At the very least, he's like, you know what? Help me kick that habit.
Yeah, that's probably why he wasn't too mad about it. He took it pretty well.
Reassessed his life and maybe, worked on shit afterwards.
It kind of all worked out for the best.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not for the chick. Now she's a single mom.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Now she's got to go on Maury.
Well, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I hope they found the father, All right. My mom, this is number 7. My mom is a labor and delivery nurse. One time she had a patient whose parents were present during her stay at the hospital. The staff there have a whiteboard with some general information about the patients, like blood type, time spent in the wing, and like how far along. The information is nameless for HIPAA reasons and instead has a patient's number. Do you know what HIPAA is?
HIPAA?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's the Health Information Protection Act of America. Basically, it's to prevent like a doctor from telling, like, say, your diagnosis to somebody else.
Oh, anonymity.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, they could say, I have a patient who's XXX, but they couldn't identify you.
Yeah, it's just the patient.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this patient, because I figured it's an American thing, I don't think, you guys probably have something similar, but it's probably called something else.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. So this patient happened to be the only one in the wing at the time. Her father was walking back from the cafeteria at one point and he noticed the board. He stopped one of the nurses and asked if the blood type for the patient on the board was correct. He knew his daughter was the only patient there. It was B+. The nurse confirmed it was correct. Turns out he knew his and his wife's blood type. He was O positive and his wife is A negative. This combination will never yield a B positive baby.
No.
He brings his wife out and just points at the board and this look of shock washes over her. Oops.
Oh, I thought she was going to go into an explanation.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need, really.
I hope she said oops.
I hope she said oops, too, actually.
Yeah. Oops.
Actually, what she said was more the line of, oh, shit. Number 8. It wasn't at the birth, but I used to work for a urologist who did vasectomies. He did a VAS on this guy, then did the requisite 3-month and 6-month semen analysis follow-up test to make sure it worked. The 6-month test showed no sperm, so the guy was all set to not father children. Fast forward 2 years, and he calls my surgeon, fuming, ranting, and raving about how he fucked up the vasectomy and now his wife is pregnant.
Oh.
So the doc, that's where his mind goes.
Yeah.
That's trusting your wife, huh?
Uh-huh.
So Doc orders another semen analysis. Of course, it comes back totally negative. A very awkward conversation ensued in the exam room that I'd had paid anything to eavesdrop on. Best part is the couple left the office pissed off with the wife sticking to her story that she would never cheat on her husband and the husband in complete denial that she'd ever lie about that. Last I heard, they were gearing up to sue or something.
Both of them are going to sue the hospital?
Well, the doctor for botching the surgery. But clearly he didn't. Clearly the wife's just cheating.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a devoted husband.
Both of them, right? Wow, she's devoted to the lie and he's devoted to her.
At some point, he's probably devoted to the lie, too. Come on.
He doesn't want to believe it. Is that what you think? Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but when my godson was born, the nurse told us about this guy who had gotten 2 girls pregnant at the same time. They both wound up at that hospital just down the hall from each other, giving birth hours apart. What a lucky guy.
Oh, man. Have a fun life.
Yeah. And finally, my wife's cousin's third came out black. She's married to the pastiest Irish guy you can find. Their marriage did not end, but this has created an interesting story. Grandma tells everyone that he's just really, really Native American. Her husband was a half Native. He's now 15, and still no one in the family will admit that he's black.
Oh. So you're just really Native American, like hardcore Native
Yeah, somehow all the genes just came out real strong, you know?
Yeah.
Even though Native Americans don't look anything like black people.
No,
no. Yeah. They're closer to Asian genetically, so.
Some people just want to deny.
Well, if he's 15 and he hasn't figured it out, he ain't the smartest.
No.
That's like almost like Cartman, like still believe it. I'm not fat, I'm big bone. You tell me so, Mom.
Yeah, my mom thinks I'm cool.
My mom thinks I'm cool. Out of 10, I'm gonna say 10. Those are fucking great.
Those are fantastic. Of course,
they were
10.
Fantastic. Yes.
Fantastic.
I had another tab here, but apparently this website is down.
We need to share it up.
Yeah, it says error 520. Web servers returning an unknown error. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. Well, I don't have any more story ones. But okay. I do have one more, and I realize we've been going for a while, and I'm going to make this one the last one.
Okay.
This is 24 sick burns that you can feel all the way across history, and it's from Cracked.
Oh, all right.
Actually, I might have a little bit more after this. I got to look at my email, but so basically, this is historical instances of some sick burns.
Ooh, I think I like this list.
Now, I did look at it, and most of them are fairly recent.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But I think, they do involve pretty famous people. So this first one involves Stephen Hawking.
Oh.
Who is very witty, despite the fact that he has to type all his messages with his cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why he has such cheek. See?
Yeah.
He is British. A lot of people don't realize that because for some reason the voice module he uses has an American accent.
Yeah. But it's his voice now.
He was being interviewed by John Oliver. John Oliver says, "What am I thinking about right now, Stephen Hawking? That you've been a huge disappointment to your family."
Oh, jeez.
The funny thing is he has to craft all that stuff ahead of time. He has to have it all typed out and ready to go. Because it takes him a long time to type.
So he's probably fed the questions early on.
Yeah, well, they have to. Otherwise, it would take him, an hour to answer a question.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He must be a very hard-working person. That's all I could say.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Jeff Ross from the Comedy Central roast of David Hasselhoff. The only difference between Hasselhoff and Hitler, at least Hitler knew when his career was over.
Oh, jeez.
Snap.
Oh.
Nobody's better at roast than Jeff Ross. He's just brutal.
He just goes right for it all the time.
He really does. He really does. Truman Capote talking about Colin Wilson and others. They're not writers, they're typists. Sweaty typists blacking up pounds of bond paper with formless, eyeless, earless messages.
Oh, man. That's brutal.
That is pretty brutal. That is brutal. All right, so this is Dennis Healey, British Labour Party politician, in response to Geoffrey Howe's verbal attack during a debate. That part of his speech was rather like being savaged by a dead sheep.
Oh, okay.
British people have such strange euphemisms.
Yeah, it sounds dirty, but you're like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, after proclaiming their intent of going to university, the Irish pop stars Jedward got verbally buried by comedian Sean Locke, who said, "I think your best chance at getting into university is as an exhibit in a jar."
Oh.
Wow, way to crush these kids' dreams, huh?
They should have put you in a glass jar on the mantelpiece.
Following the reveal regarding David Cameron's tax affairs, the official House of Cards Twitter account had this to say. So David Cameron tweeted out, I have a simple view that if you've done the right thing, worked, saved, and paid your taxes, you should be rewarded, not punished. And it just, House of Cards replied with just a gif of President Underwood just looking at the camera with this sly look like, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's why I love that show. I love how he breaks the fourth wall.
Looks at the camera and says, I'm about to do something, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, exactly. Did you watch the most recent season?
I have seen none of it.
Oh, shit. Because I got the feeling, I was going to ask if you agreed, maybe people in the comments who watch House of Cards can tell me, I felt like his wife looked straight at the camera at the very last shot, like she was also in on the fourth wall breaking.
Oh, would that be a very significant thing?
It would be, yeah. It would be.
Well,
okay, so this one, Jimmy Carr, who's he's a comedian, and he was being heckled, and the heckler just yells, "My mom died of cancer," and Jimmy Carr says, "What?" And the heckler says, "I only mentioned it because it was funnier than this."
Oh.
Whoa, if they ever get, like, the Heckle Awards going, that guy gets a fucking gold star right there. Holy shit.
And Jimmy Carr's pretty funny. He didn't have a good comeback?
Maybe he was having an off night, dude.
Maybe.
Okay, so this is an older one. This is Nathaniel Hawthorne roasting Edward Bulwer Lytton. He said, "Bulwer nauseates me. He is of the very pimple of the age's humbug. There is no hope of the public so long as he remains... so long as he retains an admirer, a reader, or a publisher."
A pimple of the age of humbug.
Of this age is humbug. So basically he's saying that, like, because this guy has any public forum, that there's no hope for humanity.
Just the fact that this guy gets a voice?
Yeah, just the fact that he's read, or that he's even published.
Oh.
Here's another old one. This one's straight from Shakespeare.
Ah.
King Lear to his daughter Regan, "Thou art a boil, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood."
So, just...
It's kind of
bad.
Just... Well, that's a pretty fucking rough thing to say to your daughter.
Yeah.
That you're a wart on my ass, essentially.
I read King Lear. I just kind of forget the context.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Why, like,
yeah, I don't know why he was saying that, but I know that King Lear was very depressed and very angry, you know. On an episode of Conan... I love this one. On an episode of Conan, Chelsea Handler made fun of Andy Richter's weight by asking him if he floats in the ocean. His response was magical. "Sure. What, do you sink? Might be that cast iron heart."
Ooh, damn.
Wrecked!
I'm not a fan of Chelsea Handler.
I don't know much about her, but I am a fan of Conan O'Brien and Andy Richter, so that was pretty awesome. Wow.
She is like, just like a black hole of comedy.
No, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Wyndham Lewis. "Gertrude Stein's prose song is a cold black sweat pudding. We can represent it as a cold sweat roll of fabulously reptilian length. Cut it at any point, it's the same thing, the same heavy, sticky, opaque mass all through and all along." Very gross euphemism for a poem.
Where do people come up with these things, man?
That's why you're the judge and I'm the law talking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, this one says for maximum effect, read in an English accent.
Mm.
And this is David Cameron destroying Ed Balls. "Ah, we have a new hand gesture from the Shadow Chancellor. I would have thought that after today's briefing in the papers, the hand gesture for the Shadow Chancellor should be bye-bye. You don't need it to be Christmas to know when you're sitting next to a turkey." British people are so bad at roasting. Like, really?
But it's just really dry.
Yeah, it's not... I don't know. All right. That one wasn't very good. This is from Vladimir Nabokov.
Huh.
Insulting Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. "As to Hemingway, I read him for the first time in the early 40s. Something about bells, balls, and bulls, and I loathed it."
That's it?
Just, I hated it. Hated it. I know what passage he's talking about the balls and the bulls. See, it's funny because Nabokov, if you've ever read him, he has this very complicated, metaphor-laden, dense prose, and then Hemingway is just like, there was an old man jerking off, you know, like he's very to the point, you know. So it's funny because they're both great writers, but they're definitely on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
So, of course, they're going to have clashing views on what's good.
Like, Nabokov, like, you have to dissect every sentence. He makes love to the English language, whereas Hemingway fucks it.
Nice.
All right. Seth MacFarlane roasting Donald Trump.
Oh.
Not a fan of either of these fellows. Donald, it's pronounced huge, not huge. And here's another one. It's pronounced I'm fucking delusional, not I'm running for president.
Oh, got it.
Not so delusional anymore, huh? I mean, honestly, like we always thought he was, because like he's done this so many times before. It was, you know, the Democrats, the Reform Party, now it's the Republicans, and he's like, yeah, okay, Donald, whatever. And now that he's actually the nominee, and like, really? Like, wow, he took the joke way too far.
Yeah, what if he's still trolling, even this far in?
It's always that possibility. Thomas De Quincey on John Locke. Against Locke's philosophy in particular, I think it an unanswerable objection, if we needed any, that although he carried his throat about him within this world for 72 years, no man ever condescended to cut it. Wow. I mean, he's basically saying, how come nobody killed him yet?
Yeah, why ain't nobody killed him?
Why is this guy still alive? Man, old-timey people could fuck your shit up.
Agreed.
I mean, that wouldn't just be like, you know, you're lame or you're gay or whatever. It's like, no, how come nobody's killed you?
but that also sounds like a YouTube comment as well.
That's true. Yeah, well, I guess we come full circle, huh?
Yeah.
But people used to publish these things with their name on it, but not, you know, like Family Guy 423 saying kill yourself on YouTube, you know?
Family Guy 423.
This is David Cross roasting Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, man, yeah.
I guess one could say that you're telling it like it is, and considering the vast amount of oversimplification you employ to describe the sweeping generalizations all of America and the world that don't make no sense to you, as well as your lack of sensitivity in second-grade grammar, one might be led to think you are proud of not appearing or being too intellectual.
Well, that's a very long-winded
That's a roundabout way of saying you're lowbrow, which I think is kind of the point of Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, but it's not good.
It's not. It's basically like looking at his act and saying, I think this fellow is not quite the intellectual, and it's like, well, duh, he's not. I mean, that's the whole point of his act, is that he's blue collar.
Yeah, but I
gotta say, you know, I don't really think Larry the Cable Guy is funny, but at least he's authentic.
What do you mean authentic?
I mean, he really is the dumb motherfucker he portrays himself as. He's not playing a character.
Well, no, he is. I thought he was playing a character, like.
Well, not in a stand-up act. I mean, he really was a cable guy. I mean, it's not like, you know, they call him that because he was a cable guy and people thought he was funny. Like, you should do stand-up. And for some reason, people laughed.
Oh, but he is so anti-funny.
I don't particularly think he's anti-funny. I just think he's not funny.
Well, sorry. I mean, he's just a terrible comedian.
Jeff Ross again. This time roasting Justin Bieber.
Oh, boy.
You were the King Joffrey of pop.
I think that's...
I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I know who King Joffrey is. He's that annoying douche kid who everybody clapped when he died.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't... I don't know the context.
It's brutal. Well, that's like that girl that was in one of McJuggerNuggets videos, and she called him the King Joffrey of YouTube. I mean, it's not a pleasant thing to be compared to.
I saw the roast of Justin Bieber, and I think they played it a little too safe, honestly.
Maybe you saw the edited version.
I must have, because I don't know. I don't think they got him as good as they could have.
Well, Jeff Ross did, that's for sure. I thought Martha Stewart also fucking railed him. That was pretty good, too.
Martha Stewart. Yeah. It's a good thing.
I love when you have Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg in the same room. It always leads to amazing things. Like, have you ever seen the clips of Snoop Dogg on her show?
No.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Man.
First of all, they get along really well.
Wow, they have chemistry?
Yeah. Well, one of them's a convicted felon and it ain't Snoop Dogg.
That's true.
But yeah, they do have really good chemistry. They cook together, and he's really funny. She's surprisingly funny. I mean, yeah.
Wow. Well, for some reason, I'm glad that's true.
So this is a wrestler, WWE wrestler Taz, insulting legendary commentator Jim Ross. He said, "I'd love to slap you across your face, but it looks like God already beat me to it."
Oh, that's mean. He had a stroke.
It's probably scripted though.
No, but he actually did have a stroke.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, that was probably written into the script. It's not like I don't think that was ad-libbed,
Yeah, but still, like, ugh.
Okay, Roger Ebert. He was always very good at taking someone down a notch or two.
Oh, is this the review for North?
No, it's Freddy Got Fingered, actually.
Oh, okay.
This movie doesn't scrape the bottom of the barrel. This movie isn't the bottom of the barrel. This movie isn't below the bottom of the barrel. This movie doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence with barrels.
Oh, damn.
And yet he did.
I think his review for North was just like,
I hated it. Hated it. Yeah. I think he even says, I hated the idea that they thought anyone could like it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know who Molly Ivins is, but this is her roasting Rush Limbaugh.
All right.
I have been attacked by Rush Limbaugh on the air and experienced somewhat akin to being gummed by a newt. It doesn't actually hurt, but it leaves you with the slimy stuff on your ankle.
What? All right.
Okay, that's funny. So this is a really old one.
Oh.
Gaius Valerius Catullus.
Oh my God.
He was a Roman poet from the 1st century BC.
My brother would love whatever the hell this is.
Responding to critics. Now, this has obviously been translated into modern-day English.
Yes.
Which did not exist at the time. England did not exist at the time.
No.
Because you've read my countless kisses, you think less of me as a man, I will sodomize you and face-fuck you.
Oh, jeez.
I think that may have been the first YouTube comment.
YouTube comments before YouTube.
Yeah. Before the internet, before computers, before the fucking invention of the telegraph. I mean, this is great. Before Christ, even.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, who is at a Comic-Con talking to a man in a Darth Vader suit at the... actually, no, it wasn't Comic-Con. It was at the premiere of Star Wars Episode 2. Which one of these buttons calls your parents to pick you up?
I think I might have seen that interview.
I might have seen that on YouTube or something. Yeah.
Episode 2, though. Come on.
Yeah. We didn't know it was going to be bad. We were at the premiere.
Yeah.
This one's Roseanne Barr.
Oh, yeah?
This is during a monologue about her artificial insemination.
Oh.
It was just a little prick, kind of like having sex with Tom, and it only took a minute.
Ooh, but
Tom Arnold always has a great comeback.
Oh, yeah?
Said, yes, but even a 747 looks small when it lands in the Grand Canyon.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Oh, man, I would just love to get those two in a room together and just watch them bicker. It's amazing. I remember, like, a couple of years ago, more like 5 years ago, they were going to have a Comedy Central roast of Roseanne, right?
Right.
And everybody's like, are you going to watch it? You love roasts, and all this. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Because I heard Tom Arnold wasn't going to be there. And I'm like, if you don't have Tom Arnold there, it ain't going to be genuine,
Oh, he showed up.
Well, somebody told me afterwards he showed up, and it was fucking epic. And I did watch it, and I was like, yeah, he got her good.
Oh, yeah.
He got her good.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite line was, don't be jealous of me and my new wife. She wasn't even born when we were married. Last one. So this starts with Donald Trump. Apparently he decided he wanted to praise Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford, and not just because he rents my properties. He stood up for America. Harrison Ford's reply, it's a movie, Donald. It was a movie. It's not like this in real life. But how would you know?
Oh!
I love Harrison Ford. He is
wow.
so cut and dry to the point, you know?
But how would you know?
And he's so sarcastic. I don't know if you've ever seen him being interviewed, but he's really funny, I think.
Well, when he's not mumbling, you know.
Well, he does mumble, but like if you could decipher what the hell he's saying, it's usually very amusing.
Yeah.
How would you know that? He stood up for America. Get off my plane.
Get off my plane.
It was a pretty good movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good movie. Out of 24. 24. No, actually, no. I'm gonna take it down to 22. Actually, because a couple of those British ones were very, like, okay, that's not funny, you know.
It's like the one about the turkey. I think the turkey.
Both of them involving David Cameron were one where he was getting roasted and one where he was roasting somebody else. Let's leave David Cameron out of it, okay?
It was a little dry, a little too dry. For
Apparently, he can't insult nobody. Nobody can insult him. It's just let's just not. So I'm gonna 22. What do you say?
I'll be right there with you with a 22.
Right there with you with 22.
I didn't mean to do that accent either.
Yeah, you turn into Larry the Cable Guy there.
Get her done.
Get her done.
My IQ just went down 100.
I remember a joke he did about something about a GED. Said it should stand for Good Enough Diploma, or maybe Get Her Done.
Oh God, I don't like him.
It wasn't good at all. You know what I like is I like your reaction to him.
Oh, he's so bad. It just upsets me that he's so bad.
Okay, I got one from... I do have a couple of you this I want to go over, actually. Because I could tell you don't want this to end. It's still early-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Slayer Darth sent me this. Now, do you remember... I did this with Tanya, but I know you do listen to List Critics.
Yep.
That we did the top 25 best tweets from the modern Seinfeld Twitter. No, actually, wait a minute. What? You were there for that. It was all three of us.
Yeah.
Okay. You were there for that. It was all three of us.
It was the special.
It was one of our specials, yes. Okay, so Slayer North came up with his own modern Seinfeld ideas.
Oh, cool.
So this is his top 10 ideas for modern Seinfeld episodes.
This better be good.
Well, I hope it is. Number 10, Jerry and George start up their own YouTube channel. They receive a lot of views for a video criticizing PewDiePie and become inundated with hate mail from his fans.
Yeah.
Man, that's a little too realistic, don't you think?
That's pretty much what would happen, though.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I think that the Seinfeld writers could do a good job with that if they were still writing Seinfeld.
Yeah, they'd have to put a Seinfeld-y spin on it, but any YouTube channel that would happen to.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just PewDiePie because he's the number one guy right now.
Right.
You know. Number 9, Kramer hears that Kramer and Kramer is going to be remade, so he tries to copyright his name so he can sue the studio. Yeah, he would do that, too.
Yeah.
And everybody would try to explain to him that you can't do that, but he would still try to go ahead with it.
He would try to find a loophole.
The only thing about that is that's a B-plot.
Yeah, I guess that would be.
That's a B-plot. And it would accumulate with him trying to, like, be at the copyright office, and there'd be a whole kerfuffle there, but... Yeah. That's not an A-plot, it's a B-plot. Number 8, George attends a coding boot camp and decides that he's now a professional web developer. He gets a week to develop a WordPress site for his first client, but the project seems doomed to fail. George eventually outsources the work to a Chinese company.
And then claims it all for himself.
No. See, here's the thing. George would immediately outsource it. He wouldn't even try. He would try for like a minute.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Penske file all over again.
Oh, that was good. You know what I love is that there was the great juxtaposition of the two bosses. The one guy from the other company who was like, "You've done great work," and you know, all he did was put in a folder or something, and we want to hire you, and and then the other one was just like, "You've done nothing. What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yes.
Number 7, George is forced to attend a corporate retreat weekend with his new company at the boss's woodside cabin. His boss dies in a rock climbing accident, and George fears that he will be accused of murdering him. George takes his dead boss back to the cabin and pretends that he's still alive.
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's?
I just want to say that is a great episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, Mr. Burns.
And then it would turn out that Burns wasn't really dead. He was just like
He was in some weird hibernative...
Yeah, like he would... I think The Simpsons has actually done that, where they thought Burns was dead, and Homer and Smithers, like, rigged him up like a marionette.
And then something happened that, like, kicked him back into...
Yeah, and then it was like, Smithers, make me slap you. Now make me slap him. Now give me a taste. Now all three.
Oh, yeah, I like that, yeah. Give me a taste.
Now give me a taste. Number 6, Kramer decides to become Amish and head off the grid in Pennsylvania after he suspects that the NSA have tapped his phone. He eventually discovers that George has hacked into Kramer's iCloud account by successfully guessing his password. Okay, let me just say, George ain't hacking shit.
No.
Okay, and I think that the Seinfeld Twitter had it right when they said that, Kramer would be writing messages to the NSA in his emails, and they wouldn't be reading it because he's not that interesting.
No, so he would be writing to nobody.
Yeah, it'd be like Cartman assuming that they're following him, but they weren't.
Yeah.
Number 5, Elaine is struggling to keep up with her new friend Jane, who is always helping people, and who has roped Elaine into volunteering with her at the local homeless shelter. Elaine eventually loses her rag and explodes at some of the homeless users.
I could see that.
That's great. It's also, I just do want to say there's nothing particularly modern about that. That could have been an episode of Seinfeld back in the 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that is like that's very good.
She gets angry at a soup kitchen?
Yeah, and then she would flip out and everybody would be looking at her like, you monster,
Yes.
I could so see that happening.
But no, they're the bad guy.
Yeah. Number 4, Jerry fills in as a guest correspondent on The Daily Show, but is accused of being racist to Trevor Noah. After it is discovered that a man called Michael Richards tampered with the teleprompter, Jerry and Trevor make their peace.
I see.
It's a little too meta.
Yeah.
I don't think that Michael Richards would want to revisit that at all.
No, he's kind of tried to bury that as much as he could.
As he should. Because that was bad. I mean, I've seen that clip, and you know what's funny? The first time he drops the N-bomb, everybody laughed. Because in context it made sense. But the thing is, he latched onto that, and he kept saying it over and over and over and over, and then everybody was like...
It's because it
And then everybody was like, whoa, wait a minute. It was funny the first time, but now you're just yelling the N-word.
But it's because it got a laugh. He's like, I should stick with this.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing too good. He was getting heckled. I mean, he's not much of a comedian. I mean, he's a good actor, but not much of a comedian.
No, he's more of like the pratfall guy. He's good at
He needs people to write him good material.
Physical comedy.
He needs people to write him good material. That's what it is. He's great at doing it. It's just the writing part. I've seen his stand-up. It ain't good. Number 3, Jerry, Elaine, Kramer, and George all get addicted to Pokemon Go, which negatively impacts upon their personal lives, in particular when they attempt to catch Pokemon at an old friend's funeral. Yes, that would so happen.
That would work.
Like, some lady would be trying to, like, push Jerry out, like, get out of here, you horrible man, and you're like, but there's a Squirtle right on the casket.
Wait, I think I saw Nidoran out back.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I want to see that. I still want this to be a thing. Number 2, George decides to make some extra money by attending market research and focus group meetings. Unfortunately, he has a negative reaction to one of the products he is sampling for a focus group meeting, but tries to make it anyway. But wouldn't he have the reaction at the thing? Like,
yeah.
It's not like they tell you, here, take this product home and then come back and tell us how it went. Like, usually they want to observe you.
But maybe it's like a delayed reaction. I don't know.
But then why would he be going back?
I don't know. I don't know.
For something else. See, what would happen is he'd be having a reaction to something else at the thing, and they would think it was the product.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is what they would do. They would reveal that he's allergic to, like shellfish or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he would piss off one of the others, probably Elaine, and then she would slip him some shrimp or something just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
And then his face would start blowing up at this thing where he's testing, I don't know, like a new flavor of Kool-Aid or something, and they would be horrified because they think it's killing him.
Like, oh God, what did we put in here?
Yes, exactly. So that's how it would go down. Number 1, George is working at a car showroom, and he and Jerry are invited to see a supercar flown in especially for one of their VIP clients. He's given the keys to lock up that night, and after George accidentally dents the car, he and Jerry decide to stage a break-in at the showroom. I feel like that's an episode of Family Guy.
You think Family Guy?
Like, just replace George with Quagmire and replace Jerry with Peter, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, making the episode might have been a bit expensive with the supercars and...
I don't know, I just feel like that's not a Seinfeld idea.
Yeah. Like just sticking Seinfeld characters in a certain situation.
Yeah, generic.
It's still...
But it feels like a Family Guy plot to me.
All right. I can see where you're going with that. Yeah. But there were some good ones.
There were some very good ones.
I like the Pokemon Go.
I like that one a lot, and I also like the idea of Elaine freaking out at a
soup kitchen.
Yeah, the soup kitchen. Yeah. Not a lot of these involve Jerry. Did you notice that?
No, that's true.
The only one that was really about Jerry was the Daily Show one, but I felt that was a little too meta. Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna go 6.
6.
But
right.
Keep at it, man. Keep at it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. Takuma Iga sent me his top 10 dinosaur movies. Can you even think of 10 dinosaur movies?
We're back. A Dinosaur Story, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, that's the first one you go to, right?
Yeah.
That and Theodore Rex, right?
Theodore? Oh, Prehysteria.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Land Before Time, Part 7.
Fuck, man.
How many
7.
of those? I think there were like 13 of them.
I was shocked when I heard there were 4.
There's like 13.
Yeah, no, 13. Good God.
You know what? Actually, I don't even know how many there are, but I do know it's a ridiculous amount. I'm going to look it up. I remember seeing the first one and thinking it was pretty good, but I didn't see how they would do a sequel.
Well, the first one had that Don Bluth animation.
Yeah,
so.
And then not to mention, like, I think one of them was a musical.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's 14 of them.
14? When was the latest one?
A couple months ago.
Get out of here.
That was the okay, because Land Before Time 13, The Wisdom of Friends, came out in 2007, but then the Land Before Time Journey of the Brave came out February 2nd, 2016.
Get out of here. Wow.
I'm assuming, like, direct to Netflix here.
Because people are just asking for more Land Before Time.
Okay, apparently they did release it on DVD exclusive to Walmart stores in North America.
Oh, wow.
Your store probably has it.
Woohoo!
Holy crap.
I'll have the first one and the 14th one.
Yeah, right. Holy shit. All right, but anyway, top 10 dinosaur movies from Takuma Iga.
Before we go in, what do you think will be on here?
Well, I mean, I'm going to assume Jurassic Park. I mean,
well, yeah.
Realistically speaking, Jurassic Park, I don't know, man. I mean...
Oh, Carnosaur!
Carnosaur was bad, though.
Yeah, but, alright, I don't know.
I mean, most dinosaur movies are shit. That's why Jurassic Park was so fucking good.
Yeah, the standout.
You could kind of put King Kong in there. Because it was a very, like, big part of that with dinosaurs.
That's true.
Alright, but let's see. Number 10 is Disney's Dinosaur. I don't even remember that. My brain is telling me yes, Disney did a movie called Dinosaur, but I really don't remember anything about it. Oh, you know what should be on here is that recent one, The Good Dinosaur. I heard that was good.
I heard it was okay.
I heard it. I mean, I heard it was fantastic, to be honest with you.
All right, fair enough.
But there you go. Number 9, Carnosaur.
Yes, of course. The horror movie.
Actually, I gotta mention his notes. Like, his big critique of Disney's Dinosaur is that there were lemurs in it. Because lemurs weren't around back then, you know.
I
mean, let's be realistic then. I mean, like, the raptors in Jurassic Park were like 10 times the size of real velociraptors, and they didn't have feathers.
Yeah, now that we know more information.
Yeah. Although we do know that there were raptors that were bigger. They were called super raptors, but they did have feathers.
Oh, super raptors.
Yes. But they didn't know about the super raptors when they made that movie, so it was accidentally correct in that sense.
Accidentally on purpose.
Yeah. Number 9's Carnosaur. Yeah. Number 8, Dinotopia.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I've only heard of it.
Apparently, it was books first, and then it was a movie, and then it was a TV show.
Wonder how that did.
Number 6, he says his best last forgotten. Number 7, Caveman, which is a family comedy.
Mm.
All right, you hold on now a second. You bitch about lemurs being in that other movie, but not the fact that they do a movie with people and dinosaurs together.
Yeah, if you're gonna bitch about accuracy,
You might as well put the Flintstones on this list at this point.
yabba dabba do.
Yeah. Number 6, King Kong. Yeah, there we go. I mean, there were a lot of dinosaurs in that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Dinosaur Island.
When was that one?
2014. He says, if you never heard of this film, it's probably because it was made under the radar by an Australian company called Extinction Studios. Clever name.
These are the 10 best dinosaur movies, right?
Well, he says Takama's top 10 dinosaur movies, so yeah, I guess so.
All right. Whatever you say, man.
Number 4 is Dinotasia. You mentioned that.
Dinotasia?
Didn't you mention that?
I mentioned Prehysteria.
Oh, never mind then. Number 3, The Land Before Time, The Great Valley Adventure.
Which one's that?
Oh, God, I gotta reopen that tab, huh? The Great Valley Adventure, huh? That's the second one.
Oh. I
Okay.
might have seen it then.
Okay, that's also the one that's a musical.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, wait, wasn't the first one kind of? Like,
No.
didn't Littlefoot's mom, like, sing a song to him?
Yeah, but there's like a lullaby or something. I mean, it wasn't like a big production.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mothers do sing to their children. It's not like that's not unusual. But in musicals, everybody just bursts into song for like no reason, you know?
I can sing.
Yeah. I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. One of my favorite fucking episodes, too.
That's so good, yeah.
Number 2, Valley of Gwangi. Apparently, it's a dinosaur western. That is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So maybe it's like a Turok kind of thing where like there's this lost valley somewhere near El Paso that leads to like, you know, like the Savage Land kind of thing.
Savage Lands, yeah.
Number 1's Jurassic Park. That's not a shock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is his list. I mean, I haven't seen most of these. To be honest with you.
I've seen
Jurassic Park and King Kong.
I've seen Carnosaur. It was hilarious.
Wasn't it something like they made a dinosaur out of a dog or something like that?
Kind of.
Oh.
It's just...
I'm going to have to take his word for it, but I mean, he does also say that like nostalgia plays a big role in this.
I guess so, because some of these he said were best left forgotten.
Well, he said the TV show based on one of those best left forgotten.
Okay.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10. This is his first list, so I got to be a little nice.
I'll be 7 out of 10, a little above average.
A little above average. Okay, I've actually been waiting to do this one with you because I couldn't do it with Tanya because she hasn't played Binding of Isaac.
Oh shit!
So this is from S. Serpent. He's a big fan of Binding of Isaac, as am I, and as are you.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not that aware of many of the Afterbirth things.
Well, he doesn't have Afterbirth either because he's playing on Wii U.
Oh.
And you play on Vita.
Yes.
Now I've bought this game like 3 or 4 times, so. Well, actually, wait. The first time Julie bought me The Binding of Isaac.
The regular.
And then I bought Binding of Isaac Rebirth for Vita.
Mm-hmm.
But then I bought the Steam version for Julie. So that's 3 times.
Okay.
But then, when Afterbirth was going to be coming out, and they said it wasn't going to be on the Vita, I bought Afterbirth and Rebirth on PC for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought it for the 3DS.
Why did you also get it for the 3DS?
It's just like I played on the 3DS.
Okay.
I'd platinum the Vita version, so...
Ah. Well, there's more than one file.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to see what the 3DS version was all about.
And apparently it's not as good.
It's not as good because it does chug on the 3DS, and I am playing it on new 3DS, it's exclusive to new 3DS.
Yeah.
But you can draw on the map, which is a cool little thing, so you can make little notes for yourself.
Okay, that's cool.
Like, I put X's in places where I know the secret room is not, based on the layouts, so I can find secret rooms easier, you know. Okay, so one of the worst items in The Binding of Isaac is the poop.
Yeah.
You see it, you're probably not even going to pick it up unless you don't have an item in that slot at all, and I mean...
Or you start with Blue Baby.
Yeah, Blue Baby starts with it. Blue Baby's the Lethal Joke character, too. It's funny, because he's designed to be bad, but people found uses for him.
Oh, yeah, like permanent Polaroid?
Well, yeah, I mean, not with Afterbirth, Empty Vessel, or some of the other Rebirth items, like Whore of Babylon.
Yeah.
You know? If you can get Whore of Babylon and Empty Vessel, you're fucking set.
All right. So this is top 10 worst items?
No, this is 5 uses for the poop.
Oh, okay.
Number 5, put the poop next to a gap, bomb it to make a bridge and go across. Necro came up with this one. I didn't come up with it, I'm just aware of it, but I did tell him about it.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, if you poop next to a gap and then you bomb next to the poop, it treats it as if it's a rock.
Oh, sweet, okay.
Yeah, it's just the thing is it's probably not going to come up that often.
But if it does...
Yeah. Number 4, shield from Dingle. Dingle likes to charge at you and shoot 3 fireballs at you. You can hide behind the shots, and he can't charge through the poop.
That's why whenever I'm fighting Dingle and there's a poop, I always just hide behind that.
Yeah, there's usually poop in the room. But not only that, but I don't know if he knows this, but when Isaac poops out the poop, he also farts, and that does push enemies away.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, it will send Dingle or Dangle flying in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, make Larry detour. Larry chases you around his lair while leaving his own poop. Your poop can make him go the other way.
Yeah, just as if he does.
Usually you don't want him to because you're shooting him.
Mm-hmm.
Larry's movements are very unpredictable.
I don't like that.
And he doesn't chase you. He doesn't try to damage you. He just moves around.
It's even worse when there's 2 of them because then they're pooping everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, he does not have a whole hell of a lot of health.
No.
So you could just plow right through it. Hold on a second, guys. I actually got to pee really badly. I'm going to go... why don't you vamp for like 30 seconds while I go take a leak real quick?
Man, I really wish I could find a way of playing Isaac Afterbirth and upcoming Afterbirth Plus, because I've seen other people play it. There's tons and tons of things, synergies that are very interesting that I want to try.
The
but
synergies are insane once you get to Afterbirth, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like for Afterbirth Plus.
Yeah, and I'm still stuck with Rebirth, it's still fine.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you're also missing out on 2 characters.
There's that. And greed mode looks fun.
Greed mode is great. I love greed mode. I love some people are greed mode is lame. I like it.
It looks
something
really
different.
fun.
I heard there's going to be another like new kind of mode in Afterbirth Plus.
Oh my god.
But speaking of which, do you have the Lost yet?
No, I have to go through the bad rigmarole of getting the Lost.
Yeah, one thing that Afterbirth did and made unlocking him really easy.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to go through the insanity.
Yeah, I went through it on the Vita. It's not fucking pleasant.
Ugh.
Do you know what? And plus, Lost sucks in Rebirth.
Well, what's the point then?
Yeah, well, to unlock the Godhead.
Meh.
Yeah, but to get the Platinum Trophy, he does have good unlocks. But
I'm not gonna.
Do you know how you unlock him in Afterbirth?
How?
Get the missing poster trinket, kill yourself in a sacrifice room. You'll immediately respawn as the Lost and unlock him.
That's really easy.
Yeah, previously, what you had to do is you had to kill yourself off in the sacrifice room holding the missing poster, and then it would give you a clue to one of the steps that you had to use to unlock him. And that was the only purpose of the missing poster. It was otherwise useless. And most people are just going to look up how to unlock him online.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're not. So the missing poster is something they'll never pick up, you know, except to put it in their collection. But But yeah, the missing poster actually in Afterbirth does have a purpose because it is an extra life. It will respawn you as the Lost.
Cool.
Okay, so number 2, you can break open the poop to maybe find a penny or a heart.
Yeah, that's why I keep it around. Why I'd use the.
You are looking to swap it for like almost anything else, though.
Yeah, but while you have it, you might as well. You know.
I think the only item that, if I had the poop, the only item that I would find and keep the poop would be maybe the butterbean.
Oh God, yeah.
Or the portable slot. I really don't like the portable slot.
Kamikaze.
See, now, Kamikaze, I actually want to talk to you about something Isaac-related after this, actually.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll get to that afterwards.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, it's funny. Making your character leave a big coiled-up poop as big as your own character, that's got to weigh in at least 39 Courics.
Courics?
You know, from South Park.
Oh, Katie Couric?
Yeah!
Yeah, okay.
And he says, nobody said they were great uses. Well, looking for positive and the negative is part of Isaac because some of the items are really bad unless you really know how to synergize them. Like, for example, Breath of Life is usually considered the worst Angel Room item in the game.
It is bad.
Because most people can't even figure out how to get it to work.
I don't know.
Well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to hold down the button until the meter drains completely.
But then once it's drained...
And then once it's drained completely, you have a few seconds of invincibility. If you hold the button too long, it will damage you.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a combat item. You use it to use blood donation machines without getting hurt. You use it to go in and out of curse rooms. You use it to not get hit by spikes, things like that. You know what I mean? It's not a combat item. But if you synergize it with Isaac's Heart, as long as you hold down the button for that entire floor, you are invincible.
Oh. Isaac's Heart?
Yeah.
Which one's that one?
Isaac's Heart is where his heart becomes a follower. Isaac himself becomes completely invincible. Only the heart can be damaged.
Well, I don't think I'd like that.
But if you use Breath of Life, yeah, it's not a good item, but if you use them together, it's really powerful because if you use Breath of Life, it will make Isaac's Heart invincible for as long as you have the button held down. But the damage that it applies for holding the button down too long is applied to Isaac, not the heart.
Oh.
So for the entire floor, you'll be completely unstoppable.
Wow.
As long as you're holding that button down.
As long as you hold it down. Ah.
Out of 5, I'll say 5. It was amusing. And some of these uses are very, it is making good estimate. And yeah, it is funny. The poop is a funny item.
Yeah, I'll go with the 5. It is funny to make him go...
Yeah. And I don't think he knew about using it as a pushback thing. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it. You know I've dissected this fucking game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, the other list I did. Okay, so, yeah. That's actually the only one I have. But, I did want to talk about, before we go, I do want to talk about a big list, and somebody actually gave this to me. We're not going to do this because there are 436 items on this list.
Go.
And it changes from time to time. Somebody on Steam sent me this link called isaacranks.com. And basically, it'll give you like 2 items from the Binding of Isaac Rebirth and Afterbirth and say which do you like better. And it uses them to give a comprehensive listing of all the items based on a community aggregate. And I was looking at what they consider to be like the highest, like the top 10, like the top tier items, and then like the bottom tier items. And I think that a lot of people playing the game lack imagination.
Oh?
Well, for example, okay, like, I'm going to give you the top 10 here. Godhead is number 1, and that is pretty much undisputable.
What does that one do?
Godhead gives you what's called God tiers. The only negative effect is that it slows down your shots immensely, but that actually winds up working in your favor. Your shot height goes very high, so the tiers stay on the screen for a very long time. Not only does it give you a massive damage up and the tiers hone in on enemies, but it gives the tiers an aura around them that damages enemies as they pass.
Oh, wow.
So essentially, it wrecks everything. It's incredibly hard to unlock because it is done by doing all the completion marks with the Lost on hard mode.
Oh, God.
But it is really good. Sacred Heart is number 2. Sacred Heart is like the toned-down version of Godhead.
Oh, yeah, Sacred Heart is pretty good.
Godhead is like Sacred Heart on steroids. But then number 3 is Cricket's Head. Cricket's Head is one of the best damage ups there is.
Yeah.
But then number 4, Magic Mushroom.
Is that an all stats?
It is an all stats up.
Well, that's pretty good.
But I want to point out that the Halo, Capricorn, and SMB Superfan all do the same exact thing. But Magic Mushroom also makes Isaac bigger. Which is a negative effect because it gives you a bigger hitbox.
Yeah, bigger target.
So literally, out of all the all stats up items, it is the worst one. I think more people voted up because it's the most common one and they know about it more.
I think I would pick, I don't know, like SMB Superman fan because it looks fun.
Well, just going on purely how good they are, SMB Superfan, Capricorn, and
Halo?
The Halo are all pretty much identical. I think the Halo is slightly better than all of them.
Oh?
But they're all identical. Whereas Magic Mushroom is worse because it makes you bigger. And especially if you're playing Rebirth, literally the only way to make yourself smaller was to find the caffeine pill.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Afterbirth did add a few more items that make you smaller, as well as the one makes you smaller pill, so... Yeah.
One makes you smaller.
Yeah, and there's
like
also
that,
one makes you larger.
Wow, like that frickin' song.
Yeah, one pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that Mother gives you don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they did add a pill that does nothing.
What's it called?
Question mark.
Oh.
And the announcer is hilarious. He goes, question mark?
Okay.
Number 5 is 2020. Number 6 is Abaddon. Number 7 is Brimstone. Number 8 is the only Afterbirth item in the top 10, which is Tech X. And if you've seen Tech X in my video or elsewhere, it is fucking great.
Is that the circle?
It's have you ever gotten Technology plus Ludovico?
Yes, I love it.
Shooting
it's like a big frickin' circle.
Shooting that out of your face. And it's
dude.
chargeable. It has the chocolate milk effect, essentially, so you can rapid fire little ones, or you could charge up and shoot bigger ones.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's ridiculously overpowered. And Death's Touch is number 9, and Goat Head is number 10. But then I look at the and we're not ranking this, I'm just going over, because it is a list that is kind of related, and I do like to talk about Binding of Isaac, but I looked at the bottom 10, and, I mean, these are, there's 436 items in this game. They're not counting trinkets as items, which is interesting. I know the developers do consider trinkets to be items, but the people who made this list do not. But I looked at the bottom 10, and some of these are, like, legitimate garbage items. Some of them, I think, are being used improperly. Like, they consider the absolute worst item to be Butterbean, which is just a knockback.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it. Yeah, it's not that useful. It's a waste of space. You'd probably rather have anything else. But, A, it's better than nothing. And B, it will not wreck your run. There are so many items that are just outright detrimental that could completely ruin a run.
Such as? Like, what do you mean?
Ipecac for certain characters will fuck you up.
Oh, it usually fucks me up.
Yeah. Sometimes it's overpowered. I like it.
Fun.
I like
It's
Ipecac, but if you don't know how to use it, if your plan is the Lost, you want to avoid that shit at all costs. Bob's Brain will wreck your run. Especially since, like, you know not to pick it up. First of all, like, if you're new to the game, you might not know the subtle difference between Bob's Brain and Common Cold. They look very similar.
Yeah, that happens to me.
Plus, getting
it
it with the Curse of the Unknown, where you can't see what the items are, they're just question mark. You pick up Bob's Brain, you can't drop it. It is a passive item. And if you're the Lost, or if you're Keeper, or if you're just low health in general, you could be, like, seriously in trouble. But it is powerful, Bob's Brain, but it's almost never worth it. So, like, that's an item that'll fuck you up. Butterbean is just useless. Second, number 435 is the Poop. I mean, 434 is Kamikaze. You mentioned this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have to use it. But it has some really good synergies.
Like with what?
Well, first of all, Host Hat, which is an Afterbirth item, but Host Hat makes you immune to explosion damage.
Oh, so you become a walking bomb.
Yeah, you become the human bomb. Now, an item that is in Rebirth, Pyromania, not only gives you immunity to explosion damage, but explosion damage actually heals you.
Oh, yeah.
So not only are you unstoppable at that point, but you can rapid spam it to heal yourself at any point, as long as you have red hard health. Not as useful for Blue Baby or the Lost, but still they're invincible to that explosion. It's gonna... I mean, I wouldn't use it with the Lost simply because you have to get close to enemies, but... That's pretty... And then when you synergize it with literally any other bomb effect, poison bombs, bigger bombs, cross-shaped bombs, there's a lot of them in the game, you know? So I think that, like, the people who put that low, that it's a third worst item in the game, don't have much imagination. The bean is number 433. 432 is Minecrafter. And
the notched axe?
No. It's an afterbirth item called Minecrafter, where using it places an explosive barrel that you can push around, and you know. And the thing is, like, it is basically a free bomb every few rooms. It's not that useful, but it can be used to get across gaps. It can be used to get into secret rooms and shit. And it's like, basically, like, it is better than nothing. It's not going to fuck you up. And if you get it really early on, yeah, it can be useful because you could stockpile bombs and use that, to get into secret rooms and shit before you get something better.
That's true.
So I think number 431 is one of my least favorite, Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
That's a garbage item.
Unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen.
And if anybody doesn't know, Dead Sea Scrolls gives you an effect of one of a list of randomized effects.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. You might get Lemon Party.
Which is pretty good.
You might get Bob's Rotten Head. You might get We Need to Go Deeper. You might get Pinking Shears, which is one of the best items in the game.
Yeah.
Or you can get Anarchist Cookbook, which can fuck you up.
Yeah.
You can get Kamikaze, which could fuck you up. I think the first time I used it, I got Kamikaze. Or you can get Teleport, which could take you right out of a boss room and into who knows where.
Anarchist Cookbook is pretty good if...
Anarchist Cookbook is a noob item.
But if you like, if there's like a whole bunch of pots in the room, and then you let it off, you leave the room, you go back in, they all explode at the same time.
And shower you with spiders sometimes.
Yeah, but then you're just ready to leave the room again.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, Anarchist Cookbook is good if you're immune to explosions, though.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, and you know what's crazy is that you could actually cause kind of a recursion, because one of the possible side effects for Dead Sea Scrolls is Dead Sea Scrolls.
Wait, so how does that work?
It re-rolls itself, I think. But I mean, yeah, you could wind up something. It's not a good item. Breath of Life is after that. Mom's Pad. Isaac's Tears is one of the most disappointing fucking items in the game.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, hey, it's like a Tammy's head that you could use over and over again, and then you find out it's garbage.
Mm-hmm. It just the way that it's used is just so impractical.
It's useless, and it doesn't take your tier effects or your stats into effect.
No, it's just basic.
The little baggie is the ninth to last item on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the little baggie does?
I forget.
It allows you to carry 2 pills.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It will give you a pill, and it will re-roll all tarot cards and rune drops as pills. So
into pills.
Yeah, so basically you're not going to get cards or runes anymore. You're only going to get pills, but it has some good synergies. Like, yes, cards are better than pills, and runes are better than pills, but if you have PhD or Virgo, you're set to go.
Yeah, but still, a lot of the pills are kind of not good. They're not bad, but they're not good.
Oh yeah, there's some that don't do shit. Like puberty is pretty useless.
Paralysis.
Paralysis can fuck you up, but like I said, but if you have PhD, you're going to get some good pills. If you have Virgo, you're at least not going to get the shitty ones.
Yeah, but
so if you already know, like for example, if you already know that there's like a tears down in the pool, and you get PhD, it changes all the tears down into tears up.
Into tears up, yeah.
So then getting little baggie is gonna double or triple your chances of finding more of them.
Okay.
So it has its uses, you know, and then like the 10th to last is Curse of the Tower, which is an Afterbirth item.
Now,
No.
what does that do?
Scary fucking item. Every time you take damage, it gives you the Anarchist cookbook.
Why is
Effect.
that? Why?
Not good. Fun if you're immune to explosion damage,
Yeah,
but not fun otherwise. Because you know what can happen? You can get hit by something, and it summons 6 troll bombs, and then if the bomb hits you, any of the
more bombs.
6 more appear.
And then you
So,
just die.
you could get fucked up real fast. I did put it into my Michael Bay synergy. Did you see that?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh,
What's
my
the
God.
Michael Bay synergy?
I'll show it to you. Well, let's end the show. We're done here, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next month with List Critics.
All right.
Is this even going up this month? Yeah, it's going up on the 29th, so we're good.
Damn right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.